Alright, so it's been a hot minute since the last time we played Old Gods because of various scheduling conflicts in the past 3 or 4 weeks. So,
Oh yeah.
you remember the last thing you did?
We
We
dropped
leveled
off,
up the green ones at the police station.
and also a presumably sexy drow babe.
I mean, it's a fantasy world. There's lots of sexy babes around. You know?
There's really no reason for there not to be.
Yeah, like, you know, given the choice, since it has no mechanical impact on the adventure, you can just assume that most babes are sexy, actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
It's a fantasy world. Most people get to be attractive.
That's, you know, if you survived, you know, all the plagues and things of infancy, then you get to be attractive. This is the payoff.
Yay!
At some point, you might meet a god who knows maybe what civilizations man is capable of crafting. And is like, honestly, we prefer it better when you're like this, and I think you prefer it better when you're like this. So we kind of just let it stay. Yeah. Well, anyways, yes. All right. So you all are back at the Fiddlehead Inn.
Chapter 4, whatever.
Chapter 4 point whatever,
Oh.
because we're still technically in Chapter 4 Alba.
Oh, okay.
And will be for quite some time.
For a little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we're back in Alba.
Yep.
We have, I guess.
Gotten your loots and things. Did you all buy your monies?
Yes, I
Buying.
bought my money.
Did
Buying
you buy
money.
your monies? Did you buy the
I bought a breastplate, I believe.
Did
Let's
I buy
go.
the good money?
I don't know. Did you buy good money or bad money? Michael, you bought Zimbabwe dollars. I'm sorry.
Fuck!
You better spend that quickly before inflation.
Yeah.
Oh no, you've got German marks. Oh, that's bad.
All right. Yeah.
Great, I've got fucking Jewish zazim, a currency that hasn't been in circulation in thousands of years.
This is annoying. Well, anyways, yeah.
Yes, and presumably
So you
we
dropped
are
off your
going to be
bounties.
hired to actually take care of the drow menace at some point.
Yeah. The captain of the guard invited you to come back the next day because it was going to work out, like sending out an expedition up there to close off that hole to the underground. Because guess what? People don't like an active drow hole near their place of dwelling.
Drow holes.
Oh, yeah. Active ones.
You know, I wasn't gonna say anything. I was gonna be the bigger person.
Well,
I felt
what
like
would you call it? It's a hole and drow come out of it. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So the guard has invited you back the next day. He's probably going to want you to, like, provide some evidence or testimony against the drow you brought back, or just, you know, state what how you encountered her and, like, what the situation was there, just for the law speakers and things. Anything... You guys got your bounty and stuff. Did you already buy whatever equipment you wanted to get with that, or do
I
you still have to
believe
go
so.
shopping?
I bought everything I was intending to buy.
Okay, yeah. So then I guess the next thing we're just going to do is go back to the Fiddlehead Inn and close up for the night. Do any of you have things you want to do with your evening?
Anthis is I don't know, is she doing anything?
That's for you to decide.
Yeah.
In this role-playing game.
I just
Hey John, what does my character do?
Spara donates to the Widows and Orphans Fund for the Alban City Town Guard.
Okay.
No, take it. It's clean. It's good money. I cleaned it.
Take it, it's clean money, I cleaned it. Might actually be something Spada would do.
Right. I mean, if any of you guys have any plans for the evening, we can just say you go back to the inn otherwise, and we can...
Hey, don't worry, it's clean money, freshly polished.
Orokian is going to try and pull a Justin and tell tales of
Hell yeah.
his adventures to the bar.
Mm-hmm. Fucking nice. Yeah, I don't know. Spotter's gonna order a drink. What does that cost me?
Oh, like.
Woo! Nat 20. So that's gonna be a solid 30.
Alright, yeah. Alright, it's a pretty full night at the Fiddlehead Inn. Some good.
Wait, would it
Wait
be
a minute.
31?
Did we level up?
Yeah, we did.
I did not level up.
Nice.
So it would be 31.
Yes.
Alright.
What are you still doing here?
What are you talking about?
It's like October 61st. What are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. This is Halloween.
This is Halloween.
Yeah, it's the 31st day of Halloween. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Alright.
Alright, well, aside from you leveling Erodies up, you're able to. Yeah, it's a pretty full night at the Fiddlehead, and there's lots of wealthy adventurers in who have some money in their pockets and are willing to be generous. You find yourself a little elevated stage and pull up a chair or something and start telling old war stories, and slowly after a while you get a crowd with a dramatic. Are you telling stories from your life, or are you recounting wars from ancient days? You can fluff this however you want.
Who's gonna tell stories of his life?
Oh, alright.
There was a man in my troop named Ragnar.
Ragnar the Red. There once was a hero named Ragnar the
Sorry, was that the
Red.
31? I think you've just applied a -1 multiplier onto that.
Hey now, I didn't decide any of this.
I'm so happy that shit like Johnny Guitar and Ragnar the Red are just
If you ever play Johnny Guitar to an Alvin audience, you will get lynched.
Yeah. And if you ever play it again, my Johnny.
So, Anthony, you have to stay within 1 step of your god's alignment or you lose all your powers. I'm just warning you, you're on thin fucking ice.
oh God, he played you like a damn fiddle. I mean, guitar.
So I wonder, if there should be secret societies that kill tieflings and elves. I really think it makes sense as far as this universe works. I don't know. Yeah. All right, Greer. So you tell stories of there was the insurrection and your fight in it. People are they're definitely interested in the subject matter at first. They wonder what exactly your angle is here. But as you sort of get into it and the night drags on and the candles burn low and more alcohol circulates through the population, people start really getting into the mood you evoke and the stories you tell. And even if it's from the Angorisk perspective, there's a lot of solemn nodding and wistfully looking off into the middle distance as they think about the battles of their earlier lives. You get a good amount of tips from the evening, 3.4 gold pieces.
Okay. 340 copper.
If you want to get, annoying about it.
Oh, don't worry. This isn't the call. I don't feel a need to be petty about it.
All right.
Yeah. Actually, Anthis is going to pay her respects at the Temple of Palor.
Mm-hmm.
There's not really... I mean, she there's no place to do it for Palachi, but she's just I can do this here, right?
There's actually a little shrine in town where you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
there's an old oak in the middle of one of the smaller town squares that was sort of sacred before the city grew around it, and no one wanted to cut it down, and there's a sort of informal shrine to the ninefold path there.
okay. Well, I guess
9 divines.
by the 9, he hit the dam. He told me. I guess they never miss. Huh? Not a boyfriend. I bet he doesn't kiss you.
All right.
All right.
So yeah, you go and find the little shrine square. It's sort of tucked away in a little residential district. You can hear the sounds of people moving crates through the warehouses and things off in the distance, and some of the creak and crack of the wheels of the wagons and things going off. But this is a quiet place. So yeah, it's a big gnarled oak tree, sort of sitting in this square with small standing stones arranged around it in a little patch of dirt.
All right. So is there a stool?
Little animal totems are sort of hung around these
Okay.
stones.
Anthus is gonna look for the one that looks like a bird.
Yep.
And
Avoid.
Anthus is going to remove her holy symbol, that lacquered feather, and she's going to place it upon like any surface that allows, like in front of it, maybe atop it.
Yeah, in front of the rock.
Okay. She's just going to do some motions with her hands, I suppose. I'm trying to think of how you would show reverence to the old gods.
I'm picturing interpretive dance.
Yeah, she's doing something.
Inclining the head, getting down on a knee, things like that.
She's gonna do something like this.
Yeah,
Just
the
kneel
hand
next to it.
motions aren't standard, but you are also like the only formal cleric of Palachi around right now who's going to tell you you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, this is. Yeah, all right, Anthus is gonna pioneer some old god clericship here. She's kind of meditating right now.
Yeah.
It's sort of like an in between like the. Do elves? I mean, I guess elves don't trance in this.
No,
but-
elves sleep.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, she's doing something like that.
because aside from like their ridiculously long lives, the not needing to sleep is absolutely broken.
That's fucking retarded.
Not even like, not in games of pure like game balance, but in like, I guess racial balance. You know.
Yeah.
Which can be a big problem.
I mean-
Hitler was convinced Germans were S tier, and that, you know, we need to throw out the shit tiers of them.
Well, I mean,
Box only.
elves.
Yeah, Arian's only Final
Like,
Destination.
I mean, elves are immune to magical sleep effects, but I don't think there was anything that specifically said they don't sleep.
They only have to trance.
Yeah, but
Okay.
trancing is kind of like sleeping, isn't it?
You're like aware enough that you won't, like, you can't be just it snuck up
Yeah,
upon.
which, no.
Okay.
Like,
And you only do it for 4 hours a night instead of 8.
Yeah, I guess so.
elves have sort of a magical nature, so you can still have, like, the resistance to certain kinds of magic that they've sort of built up.
Yeah.
But then, because of how magic is specifically worded, you still have to do nothing for 8 hours, regardless of your species, every day to regain your spell slots.
It's like they didn't think these things through enough.
All right.
So, like, if you're like some sort of automaton that never needs to sleep, you still need to power off for 8 hours to cast the new spells.
Yeah, well, that's stupid, and I don't even need to worry about balancing that since, like, we don't have automatons in the park.
Yeah. We
Yet.
we can do whatever we want. So.
No, elves sleep. Some elves have, like, magical resistances to
Yeah.
things. The immunity to sleep causing magic is a common one, but it's not actually, like, a universal thing or anything close
All right.
to that.
Well. Anyway, Anthus is meditating, I suppose, doing some hand.
Just in
motions.
general, or on, like, a particular subject you want guidance on? Is this prayer? Is this reaching out towards the gods?
This is. She's not asking Palachi for help right now because she doesn't really need help very much.
Yeah.
She's mostly just paying reverence.
Yeah. Alright, you feel a faint stirring at the back of your mind as you do it, like a friend whispering your name from another room or something like that. Nothing you can say definitely, but sort of a passive, you know, acknowledgement.
Okay.
Yeah.
Going back.
Even the god of words can't talk to you directly all the time, but... Okay, yeah, so we have your good night there, telling your stories. Sparrow gets his drinks in. Sounds good. You all retire to your rooms for the evening?
Yes.
Okay. So the next day, the captain asked you to be over around noonish. Anything you want to get done in the morning specifically, or are we just gonna...
Not particularly.
Alright. Yeah, so you go back to the guardhouse. The captain is coming down. He's sort of like dressed a little more... He wasn't dressed sloppishly the other day, but like in a uniform that he had maybe slept in a couple of times, you know. Busy policeman work kind of things. He's coming down in like a more formal pressed thing, and like it's cleaned up a little bit. And he's got a little badge that's been moved to more of an appropriate position on his chest. He's like, oh, okay, yeah. you
Rhodey's
guys."
is also going to be wearing his good outfit.
Ah, lovely, yes. And you. So we can talk about the contract to go deal with the drow situation. First of all, if I could request your presence. The law speakers and the court of the patrician, we're going to determine what we're going to do with that drow you brought back.
All right. Very
Mhm.
well.
Sir.
Okay.
For what
so,
it's worth, she had the good sense to surrender.
Yes, yeah. I mean, that's why she gets a trial. We are. Nothing is not fair here. Let's see if I have a little map. Yes. Okay. So they take you down sort of the main. They take you back down that main street where the captain's guardhouse and the Fiddlehead Inn is, and sort of closer to the river. And eventually takes you off to the side. There's an old stone building here, sort of serious, not severe or austere, but like just in the set of the building, like a place where business is done. Above the door frame, there's inscribed lots of geometric patterns in the stone, but 3 recurring glyphs of a man and a dragon and a bird appear sort of on the arch. And the dragon is sort of like coiled up and like thinking to itself, and the man is on one side doing this, and the bird on the other side looking up at it and cawing or whatever. Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming this is like a DC 12 knowledge and religion check to
You just
determine.
don't really have to roll for this. You've lived here long enough.
Cocknell and Palachi.
Kothmel, the judge, and oh god,
He's the head
and
of
the adversary and the advocate. You know,
Okay.
hmm the prosecution and the defense.
Okay.
In some cases, you know.
All right.
Yeah.
Is Palachi the defense in this?
Yes. Or like he's sometimes, you know, you have the adversary as Wivitik, and Palachi is the advocate.
Oh, that's Wivitik.
Yeah. Palachi is not the adversary. Or at least is not usually invoked as such.
Okay.
He's Phoenix Wright.
The typical depictions of the court of the lawful
Objection.
gods depict them arranged in like the format of Wivitik as the prosecution, and Kothmel as the judge, and Palachi as the defense. Although, you know, this doesn't mean everyone who's needs defense is innocent, obviously. Menti law actually has sort of a presupposition of innocence that's kind of important to it. Like, you really need to prove sort of, you know, you've heard the old maxim of American law, better that 100 guilty men go free than we punish one innocent. Maybe not as intense as that sentiment conveys, but generally, you know, that's how the society orients itself.
All right.
At least as far as like what the law speakers and, you know, what they try to do. Nasty things happen in the backwood and people take revenge sometimes. That's just how things happen in a tribal society. But when the law speakers are involved, it's very laid out and clear.
All right. So, big old courtroom. People in it?
Yes. There's a few. This is when they decided to open to the public, just because it's kind of a spectacle seeing a drow on trial. So there are like some people sitting there, you know, in the peanut gallery, whispering to each other. You can see one member of the council talking in sort of a stilted, broken undercommon to the drow you captured, who is looking very frustrated that any of this is happening. Another person over there is sort of just looking over files and things. There is a well-dressed, middle-aged man with like a bit of pudge about him, sort of sitting up, leaning next to the judge's podium and like talking to like a justice who's up there shuffling.
The
through
patrician?
things. The pudgy man is not the patrician, but
Okay.
the captain is explaining this to you if you're not familiar. The patrician could be in attendance if he wanted, but he sent a personal representative to handle
okay.
these things. 'Cause the patricians
man.
got to approve guilds and fence, rezoning shit. Don't ask me what I do.
All right.
Yeah.
So, all right. Where do we sit?
You're invited up, just sort of into into the center of that central chamber. The captain informs you that the defendant, whose name is Espa, she has not pled to anything. She has not pled not guilty because she doesn't want to get in a big fight over particulars, and this is on the advice of her counsel too, because she really does not know how to conduct herself in a civilized society's trial, since drow trials are usually
Who has the better assassin?
more, we wouldn't say trial as much as test or fortitude
If you-
save.
If you go into your enemy's tower and kill them, then your argument must have had more weight than theirs.
Drow worship demons and things, that's kind of how it works down there.
Yeah. All right. Oh, she speaks Elvish, by the way. If you've got somebody who's better at that, she looks a bit frustrated.
We try to accommodate to the native language, but yeah, Elvish might have been better. We can review. We asked her if she wanted reviews in Elvish of things, and she's like, she thinks she's got the gist of it.
All right.
Yeah, she's sort of been changed into she's not wearing drow armor anymore, and is no longer.
Well, she wasn't wearing drow armor to
right,
begin with.
because you guys took it, and she's no longer in what pass for drow undergarments, which are not actually very erotic at all. They're just loose, canvas or
Cloth.
cloth, not canvas. That would be uncomfortable. Yeah. They were distinctly unsexy for what you imagine drow undergarments to look like. Very practical, small clothes. We can
Oh man.
rats. Look, if the occasion calls for it, I'm not saying they don't have stuff like that, but you did not expect.
This was not the occasion.
Look, maybe if I was expecting to be undressed by adventurers.
I would have worn something a little more alluring. Usually it's the captain who gets captured and not the grunts. So, and that the captain also usually doesn't get captured. She usually does the capturing, which is still reason to strip in drow society, just for different reasons. God, maybe we are terrible. Yeah, but she's just sort of in the long, kind of heavy cloak getup that most Menti have, and she's just oh my God, they're actually doing this.
Hey, is that popcorn anybody's?
That's Greer's.
You are free to have some.
Fuck yeah.
Popcorn.
So yeah, the defense runs over. My client, Miss Farak, has not posted counterclaim to. She has not pled innocent to anything, but she hasn't pled guilty to anything either. And we don't, we have minimal evidence of crimes she personally committed. It can be assumed that she participated in the attack on the bandits, but they were bandits. They weren't under legal protection.
Wait, does that put her on positive ground then?
Oh shit! Yeah, you're under arrest. No, it's reasonable to assume that she's participated in heinous crimes against humanity, elfanity, and even orcanity, being a drow. And being an active member of the raiding parties, but we don't have specific evidence of it, so we're just extrapolating there. She's refused to incriminate, but she's refused to deny this, so we're sort of talking things through. Right.
Do Menti lands have a provision for simply treating someone as a POW, given that one could feasibly consider taking control of a cave that is on the surface within Menti lands to be an act of trying to engage in conquest of the Menti lands, i.e. an act of war?
It is not considered to be trespassing on Menti territory exactly, but the drow, the drow, tribe or society that she's from is known to have active hostilities with Menti villages, so in that sense they would treat her that. Technically, we aren't going to say you gotta stay out of caves on principle, but we're already at war with you, so yeah, you don't get we get to close off strategic access points and things like that. It's So you were within your rights to fight her, seeing her there. So you're all good. Yeah, she is considered an enemy combatant, but again, like, Menti laws can be kind of particular about this. They don't make as strong a distinction between, like wartime law and civilian law. So
Okay.
we're sort of arguing things here. There are some provisions in case the opposing counsel comes up and like shakes your hands and things, or they don't really shake hands. It's more just like a little formal half bow. Right. So you're the ones who brought her in.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't have a lot of specific crimes I'm going for, but we have taken as a issue of the court's mutual understanding, which Miss Barak has agreed to, that she can be considered a hostile agent to Menti society at large, at least until her capture. And then so we are more working to determine a way to manage that for the best interest of all parties involved. She's likely not going to face official punishment or censure per se. What we're currently looking at now is the patrician has advised retaining a member of the Tower of the Arts, and he points over to like a mage you recognize from like your trip to the tower, who's sort of just like flipping through a book with a very bored look on his face, like, yeah, come on. He's going to place her under Geas to ensure that she remains faithful to the Menti Code of Laws. We can take it that she's not a risk to return to her own society very much, since they probably would not take too kindly to a deserter or someone who was stupid enough to get captured. And in any case, she'll still be under that Geas, so that would, kill her. So in this way, we determine she's not a danger to any citizens of Alba or Menti in general. She will have to pay back the city the cost of enforcing the Geas upon her, but other than that, she gets off, you could argue, scot-free, so this is an amenable solution to all parties involved. Do you have anything, since you were the ones who brought her in, engaged her in combat, do you have any statements you'd like to make before the court as to her character, disposition, anything she's done?
Well, I can say this in Menti because she doesn't understand me. She was a bit of a coward. Once the men around her were dead, she caved. Immediately.
That's not illegal.
Yes, but what I'm saying is this will probably work.
Oh, okay.
If she is in an unfavorable position, I get the feeling that she probably won't be.
I suppose we can put that down as a professional opinion. And the judge sort of was, professional, but one the court is willing to consider valuable, yes.
Something I've noticed about Drow a lot as well. Drow enjoy staying alive.
Yes. The defense counsel was making some poignant arguments as to the tragicness of Drow society.
Yeah. No, I wasn't saying that her cowardice was something she should be punished for.
No. Yes. All right. That's a valid point. Mr. Ilaria, did you have anything to add to Ms. Avessa's evaluation of the situation?
It seems reasonable.
All right. And Mr. I don't believe we have a last name.
I don't believe you do either. Just call me Sparrow.
Mr. Sparra, who was elected to go by his first name. At least I believe it is his first name. Do you have anything to add? Any points of commentary or?
Probably nothing that would be of value.
Mr. Sparra has, under his own cognizance, declared himself not valuable to the court as a witness. We thank you for your honesty, Mr. Sparra. All right. Can you just give us a brief description of the circumstances in which you encountered Ms. Barak and took her into your custody?
Yes, we were scouting through the cave. We had sent Mr. Sparra ahead, and saw them in a room amongst various human corpses.
Members of the Greenland gang?
Yes. The elder, was it the elder Greenland who was killed?
Greenland, Nadine.
Greenland.
Yes, Fail was the older one.
Well, his body was in the room we later found. And we attracted them down the passage with a noise and a light, and Sparra stayed in the room. We ended up flanking them in the small passageway that they came to us through. as soon as we downed the two henchmen, I mean, I'm not really even sure who was the leader in that case. I'm just assuming it was her out of those three because Drow Society.
Oh, yes. Defense. If the defense could establish, the defense guy turns back and asks a few things. His undercommon sounds technically correct, but like kind of paced annoyingly slow, and she's just like, He's also like speaking with like full vowel noises to it, and undercommon usually has a hushed quality, even if like you're not whispering. So she's just like, yeah. Yes, she affirms the.
It is the equivalent of
Testimony is true.
speaking Japanese to a Japanese person at American volume.
Konnichiwa. Konnichiwa.
Watashi wa America Jin Desu. Okay, yes. Once we downed those two, she surrendered. And we
She went down first.
did she?
Yep.
Oh, that's right. Well, that's right. You got her very well. But then she was still more or less conscious though, and surrendered afterwards. The other two did not survive. Spara was rather thorough.
Ah, well.
In any case, afterwards we tied her up and took her to our wagon outside and explored further. We eventually came across some more drow, but
Yes, is this directly pertinent to her case, or is this related to your business with the captain?
this is with the captain. I suppose this isn't
Ah,
relevant
well,
to her case.
Yes. Thank you. That information will be of use to the city and all that, but not so much to the matter of it.
I understand. My
that
apologies.
sounds like the complete part of the story here.
Mm-hmm.
That's all right. Okay. Yes. Then, based on the testimony of those who brought her in, I'm going to recommend to the judge that the deal proposed between prosecution and defense be allowed to go through. Yeah, that sounds reasonable. I think we can approve this. Defense counsel, you can inform your client that she is now a ward of the city of Alba, and under certain provisions and protections to it. If the patrician's assistant would, yes, thank you, and he sort of walks over there. Defense counsel, if you could translate the terms of earning the patrician's pardon upon her. If our representative from the Tower of the Arts could place the chaos upon her, we should be done with everything. All right. Oh, and you three are free to leave.
Very well. Happy to be of help.
The captain just sort of nods and locks you out.
Cheers.
All right. Well, that's that.
Mhm.
What's the next step then?
Well, I gotta look into seeing if she actually wants to go on that expedition with you, since she knows the area as well. She'll need to pay off the gas to the city and like legal fees and things, so she might be inclined to. Given her personal disposition, maybe not, since if she encounters other drow, they're probably not going to like her very much. Her discretion. Anyways, you three, I would like to, yes, we can just return to the office and discuss it along the way. These aren't terribly sensitive matters. I'm putting together a party to go up to that cave network, collapse any tunnels going further in, and maybe establish what threats might be down there.
All right.
Yeah, the Greenland brothers were in working with some sort of cult that they thought would offer them shelter, or that they claim would have done
Call
so.
it the choir.
Yes. So we should probably do some investigative stuff on there to that effect. You'll be going in with some support from other adventurers we've retained. Your personal, aside from your skill set as adventurers and therefore value as mercenaries in this, we'd be especially inclined to have you along. Given the additional support and the lower assumption of personal risk, we're prepared to offer you 200 gold to go up with the other members of the expedition and just clean the place out.
All right.
We can offer a 100 gold bonus if you actually get involved in dangerous combat.
That sounds favorable.
All right.
I could
So
go and make do with that.
tomorrow is the fall equinox.
It's been that long, hasn't it?
Yes. The second half turn approaches, so the city will be in a festival tomorrow.
It's been almost a quarter year since I started this.
Wait, hold on. What?
Oh, I first started traveling on the summer equinox.
The summer solstice.
Or the summer solstice.
Yes.
Never mind. Summer
It's an equinox on the solstice.
God, why do I have to create different words for these things?
Because they mean different things.
Equinox means equal night.
Whatever.
Solstice means sun tice, which is something. So
Wait,
Okay,
is there something
well-
important about the solstices, or?
Oh, they have. Well, they have a good deal of importance to
yeah, it's a holiday.
Menti religion.
Ah.
We have an agricultural fair. People in the cities. There'll be performers, food wagons and things. There's a dance in the market square in the evening. I invite you to participate.
I'd completely forgotten. Now I'm excited.
Yes. The day is somewhat sacred to Apesy the spider. I know you were like affiliated with the crow in particular, but
Yes.
there should be some other priests of the old gods that.
I must pay respect to his wife then.
Yes. Right. Anyways, just on my end, I don't want to pull my men away from the city. You know, on the big festival day they were all looking forward to. It does shit for morale, and one other day will give me some time to get some supplies together. We should be setting out the morning after that, though.
Okay.
Oh wait, never mind. I didn't start on the summer solstice.
I think you did.
That was back. It was late summer, though, right? That's Palachi's month. Well, I mean, you don't need to look this up.
Yes, we do.
No. Shortest night. We started the campaign on shortest night.
Oh, okay.
When you had your vision of Palachi.
All right.
So your first day as a cleric of Palachi was June 21st, or the equivalent to that.
Okay.
By the way, I want to get all your birthdays so I can keep track of that. Especially important with our very elderly Arodis.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this was born in late winter.
All right.
Very late winter, to the point where it's like starting to melt into spring.
Oh,
It's
okay.
part of the time of the skinned earth.
Not exactly. It's sort of like the part of winter where you're actually seeing some green grass.
Okay, so like we can go through. There are 6 big. They're called seasons because they're not quite months. In the Menti calendar, we can pick those days now if you want.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. So there's Molkechi deep snow season. That's like from December 21st to about February 20th on our calendar. That's Pelma season.
Probably meltwater season.
Mm-hmm.
Vikanchi.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, probably a few days before the spring equinox.
Okay, so like Bikanchi 27.
Yeah, sure.
And the roadies, you would probably keep track of your birth date on the Angoris calendar at first, but you've been living here a while.
Yeah. Okay. I have no opinions, so I'm going to roll randomly.
Yep, there are 360 days in a Vizig year.
Okay. You said 6 months,
Mm-hmm.
or seasons, or whatever they're called. Okay. First season.
All right.
First season,
Of the year.
Molkechi, deep snow season, and you can roll for the day of that month.
How many days a month?
60.
60. Okay. First half of the month. 7th day of the month.
All right. So Arodi's birthday is 7 days after the winter solstice, longest night. 7 days into the new year. Yeah, and Michael, do you have a preference for?
When is it hottest?
The hottest month is probably Milelchi, cottonwood season.
That's Palachi's month.
Yeah, so the later half of Milelchi is going to be like August. Or maybe the earlier part of Keibashi harvest season. Like, you can just pick a date on the earthly calendar and I'll tell you about where that would be on
Alright. What's the grossest time of the year? Is it like middle of skinned earth season?
In terms of like bad luck, uncomfortable, yeah, that would be one of those days. It doesn't happen regularly though. Sometimes we get snow on the ground before all the leaves are gone, and sometimes we don't. But that would happen in like mid-November. So
Or like March?
yeah,
More great.
I don't have a ton of preference, honestly.
all right.
I might just roll.
All right.
Or how did you add a d6 and
D6 for month, then I rolled another D6 to determine at the beginning or end of the month.
Since he only has a D30,
And then a D30 for you.
we
You
need
could
a
also-
D60. What are we doing?
You could also roll a d6 and a d10 to determine, like.
Yes, but then I wouldn't get to use my epic D30.
Yeah. I'm just saying there's
And
another way.
instead I would have to use a fucking D10, which is the worst die.
Michael, do you have dice or?
I just had to finish a handful of popcorn. First month.
First month.
Sixth half of month.
Second half.
No, the sixth half, John.
Oh, I'm stupid.
Did I fucking stutter?
You idiot.
The sixth half.
The 16th.
All right. So that would be the 46th day of Molkechi.
Yes. Nice.
You failed.
We both failed. That was a collaborative failure.
Nope, it was all on you.
Ah, cheers.
Okay.
All
So-
of it for me?
How old? So
Yeah.
Ruby's is 60.
Aw, I fucked it all up.
Thank you.
I cocked it all up.
68.
68. All right. So you'll be turning 69. Nice. In this is fall equinox is tomorrow. About a week after the winter solstice. So we're just keeping track of how long you have before we're gonna start worrying about aging, age penalties.
This is what my min-max has brought me to. And I'm
We still could have picked a few years earlier than this while still getting the penalties, right? I mean, like the penalties and
Well, no, because the goal is to... The goal is to try to hit the sweet spot of getting enough physical upgrade items to survive the next age increment to further buff all of my mental stats.
so you want to be as close as possible, but give yourself enough room.
Yes.
All right. So those kick in at 70.
Yep.
So you have a little more than a year.
Yep.
Nice. I love playing dangerous games.
John, when you said woo about the age increment penalties, it made me think. I have just pictures saved to my computer of Ryan Gosling from Blade Runner 2049 standing perfectly straight faced with a phantasmal image of him going, just slightly offset.
Yep. Homeboy fucked a hologram. It's an excellent movie.
Can you blame him? You've seen the hologram.
Yeah,
I've seen
I'd
the
fuck that hologram.
We've all seen the hologram. Can you blame the man?
Plus the hologram was down for a threesome. That's a weird scene.
God, what a movie.
His holographic girlfriend, this is hard to
They
explain.
really just went for it.
Hire the prostitute to come in and sort of like, okay, can you move slowly? I have to overlay my hologram over your physical body, so
Yeah.
you could be there for him physically. It was the weirdest shit. None of those people were real, by the way. They were either androids or holograms.
Yeah.
So
Really? What are you doing?
it was no. I mean, it's a sentimental scene in a
No,
very
no,
fucked up world.
It is. It's just Ridley, man, what you doing?
Anyways,
Let's move on.
Harvest Festival.
Yeah, how about that?
Okay, yeah. So the second half turn, as its more poetical name is in Menti, It's sort of like a state fair kind of festival for the people of Alba. Food vendors in the streets.
So you've probably been seeing this getting set up for a while.
Yeah, people moving supplies into town and things. They're not blocking off major intersections, but
Yeah.
stands and flags and things. There's
Yeah.
going to be jugglers, street
I bet
performers.
there's just a part like outside of town, maybe along one of the roads leading out, where a bunch of people have just set up stands and things.
Yeah, lots of the stands get set up in the city for the festivals in there.
Yeah.
But there's also like
Maybe
yeah.
on the road to the Tower of
some
the
of
Arts.
some of the ranches outside the city will rent out space to agricultural shows and things if you want to bring your prize horses or pigs into town to show them off. Yeah. Jafai, Talan, and Mira were out of town for they were doing their work, but the innkeep would have told you that they were planning on being back for the festival since it's one of those holidays, so
Hey.
you could hang out with those guys. Yeah. Other than that, do we have any plans for the rest of the evening?
Well, geez. I mean, that's-
More talking about shit in the tavern. That was not a nat 20. That's only going to be a
28.
28. Perform oratory check.
All right, yeah. So you do a good job up there, Rhodys. People still like the speeches and like the things. Maybe it's lost a little of its luster from last night, though, because you collect a slightly smaller take, 2.5 gold pieces.
And this is gonna go around to like a park or something, some sort of place, and maybe just watch people.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
Yeah,
Market Square.
see if there are children playing.
Yep. Oh yeah, like little kids getting up to things, nasty London street urchins and things.
Yeah.
Oi! Tuppence for a pasty. Oh, that's fucking pish, that is! An old lady, and Toro waiting out the window yelling, "Oi! We are themed off the Irish! No off Cockney, get the fuck out of here with that!"
Nice.
Just the regular everyday hassling that happens in a town.
Alright.
Alright. Spara, anything you're doing with your evening?
Let's see here. I'm gonna fluff that Spada feels weird not having to almost busk for assassination jobs.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's just gonna sort of post up in the corner of the Fiddlehead Inn and give off the body language signs that in the White Worm are telltale billboards that blink in neon with a marquee around it that say, "I kill people for money. Do you want someone killed for money? I can do that for you."
Yeah. Yeah, you put off, you're definitely putting off the same vibe, but there's sort of a different reception there. You're getting looks of respect since that particular thing translates in this context more to I kill people and I kind of enjoy it, or something like that.
Lost in translation.
Yeah.
Again, we have another game about language barriers. We did it.
It's my fetish.
We fucking
Dare you enter my magical realm? Oh yeah. Ooh.
Oh God, talk to me about etymology.
Yes. The day of the
Such as the
week.
fact that, heavy and heave probably have the same linguistic root.
See, that one's a little upsetting for reasons I can't quite put my finger on, but sure.
I think it's just because they're pronounced so differently.
Yeah. It's realizing
Half is
when you
probably
figure
also
out something
from the
and you're
same
like, oh yeah, that probably is true, but also you've never thought. It's I've been played, but by who?
Indo-Europeans.
Those fuckers.
The Romans certainly thought so.
Well, I mean, the Romans were that kind of people.
I know. I just love taking stabs at the Romans. I'll take anything I can get.
Yeah, I mean, there are many Greek people who would agree with you there, and barbarians.
What are you talking about? Greek people are barbarians.
What are you talking about? The barbarians loved Rome.
Everyone who lives outside the city is a barbarian. And in fact, most of the people living in the city are barbarians too. I'm counting all plebeians, about half the patricians, and those soldiers posted near my house who come by drunk every night. Those are definitely barbarians too. There are at most 345 people in the world who aren't barbarians. And I know most of them.
I hate Rome.
To be fair, they weren't actually, most of them weren't actually as big snobs as the Greeks were.
Yeah, and at least they weren't like actual fascists like the Athenians were.
We have to defend democracy. And make
Yeah.
sure no one else gets it. Because it's ours. It's ours!
I believe Rome conquered the entire known world defensively.
Well, I was fighting defensive wars to defend my city-state, and I accidentally an empire.
Oops.
I tried to city-state, but I think I might have empired.
It happens to a lot of men.
Happened to Alexander.
Yep. No, he was doing that shit on purpose. I want to remind everyone again how fucking crazy it is that the guy went out there and did what Alexander the Great did. Like, it is absolutely insane.
He
You
was
want
also
to talk about like serious mad lads?
Alexander was also like, he was the kind of person who was absolutely doing it because he loved to do it and because he could. Because he was like, apparently Alexander was just an asshole.
Like, he was utterly convinced the gods had chosen him to do this, and like, I don't think any reasonable human being born in the time he was born in and seeing what, happened to him would disagree with him. Like, with the vast amount of knowledge about what's going to happen to his life and like the way the world works in general, me now, yeah, maybe I know better, but like I would be actually, I think people who didn't think Alexander had the gods' favor were stupid. That is the right thing to believe in with the evidence you've been given.
I recently was asked by a colleague while at work, because we do these question of the night things. We had like a whole long list of them last night, and one of them was you can drop 10 pounds of anything anywhere in history. How do you get the most change out of it? My buddy said I dropped 10 pounds worth of electronics into like World War II America. And all of a sudden we've got crazy tech. And I said, I dropped 10 pounds of iron on the mosquito that gave Alexander the Great malaria, and all of a sudden the Persian Empire never happens. And
Well, it never happens again.
never happens again, and all of a sudden a lot of shit is real different.
And a wave of time travel magic passes over and you're all wearing togas and speaking Greek.
Yup.
I don't know, I kind of feel like Alexander the Great was going to die real fast anyways. Like, you do not live that sort of life and survive as long as Alexander the Great, much less more so than...
I mean, it was just yeah, so you're saying like he wore himself out and like that would have killed him eventually?
No, like he would have gotten into another war eventually, and even if it's just part of his current empire finally rebelling, and eventually he would have fought enough battles that he would have taken an arrow to the face.
Maybe. I don't think that's definite, but yeah. Oh, well. Festival.
We're
Yeah.
taking an awful long time figuring out what's
I mean,
happening.
we kind of are just hanging out. So
Yeah.
you can end this.
Yeah.
Barry, fix it in post.
No, fuck you.
Ah, you're not Barry.
We don't have a berry then.
Get a Barry then.
I don't have money to buy a berry. Slavery is illegal. It's very expensive.
Thanks a lot, Abraham Lincoln. Anyways, so the festival's starting, people out in the streets, young couples walking arm in arm, old people walking around just sort of either pleasantly nodding at everything or grumbling in a way that is deeply satisfying to them.
You're gonna be either one or the other at this time.
Yeah, and stands and things set up by people who don't want a day off as bad as they want to sell fried food to the people who do have a day off. All right, how are you guys gonna spend your fall equinox?
Anthus is going to see if there's any like nice little fruit treats that people are making. You know, maybe a boiled apple or something.
Sure.
Spada's gonna buy like a piece of beef jerky, a bit of dried goat.
Yeah, and this is just gonna get a little caramel apple, pretty much. Except it probably won't have caramel; it'll just
Yeah.
be boiled. But it'll have
Caramel
the
you can make just by like sort of melting sugar, right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And there's
Oh.
sugar cane in Vizig, so it's possible to get a caramel down.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be pretty expensive, but
You know, Anthus might actually shell out some gold for that
sure.
because I don't know. She wants to try these things.
Yeah.
Do hip flasks exist? What's the equivalent of that? Because a water skin is specifically for water. And
There's
gets...
wine skins.
Right.
You can put whatever you want in a wine skin.
Cool.
As regards the 10 pounds of anything, I'm going to say 10 pounds of antimatter on, well, geez, anywhere, really.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's enough to like make humans just not be if you drop it in Africa before they leave it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not entirely sure how big of an explosion that makes. I don't think it quite would wipe out all life on Earth.
I had a
But
weird,
wipe
like,
out all life on Africa? Probably.
I had a weird, like, magical world writing scenario thing I was doing where, like, you remember Color Pie Magic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Orange Mage was about to completely liberate the energy in, like, a strawberry. Which is, you know, like, turning half of it into antimatter. That yield is the size of a good-sized nuclear bomb from that, so...
Yeah, the problem with antimatter is when it starts to explode from, and therefore dilutes itself, that doesn't stop the explosion from happening, unlike with actual nukes. So you can just add more antimatter and you get a bigger explosion, basically linearly.
Antimatter's a lot of fun.
Anyway,
Everyone gets great.
how much does a wine skin cost?
Shit, let me see, where's the cord?
What's the street name?
For a wineskin?
Yeah,
A wineskin.
nice.
Drew, do you think, is this something you've ever seen in equipment? I mean, I know it's a thing people had at the time, but...
I don't think I have.
I mean, you can also just fill a water skin with wine. It doesn't need...
Yeah, I would assume that the price for wine, if you need to look at that, just get a water skin and then get the appropriate amount of wine from the alcohol table.
Oh, I don't think Spada's gonna put wine in here.
Looking for some stronger shit.
I mean, he's just not a wine person.
Woman, why are you involving me in this?
Honestly, that's just a great Bible quote. I'd like to have like a...
In the words of our Savior, woman, why are you involving me in this?
I'd like to have like a reactive Jesus with a terribly bored expression. Simply says, "Woman, why are you involving me in this?"
You know all that medieval art has people getting gruesomely killed with kind of expressions? That's to be more Christ-like and bury your death, you know, with solemnity and like faith in life eternal. But you know that's still a great done.
Like Saint Peter of Verona, who died with a sword in his head, and whose
Well,
expression in every painting is, "I have a sword in my head."
There's that one picture where he's just got it in his head and in his chest,
Yeah.
and it's just like, well, bollocks.
Yeah.
A good water skin is 1 gold piece.
Cool.
You
You
just
can
got-
hold a decent amount of stuff.
Cool. Like,
Who needs a water skin when you've got create water? I could just go like, just turn my finger into a faucet.
all right.
It says 4 pounds when full, so
Oh, that's a lot of booze.
yep.
Cool. All right. Spada's probably going to fill that
Take a
with.
sip from your trusty Vault 13 canteen. Oh, that's all whiskey.
That is just.
I don't know who I was before I got shot in the head, but man, was he cool.
I really like that idea. I don't know. What would it cost to fill that with whiskey?
As much as it would take to buy some whiskey.
Right.
Probably another gold to get the whole thing full.
Cool. That's 2 gold well spent.
You know, we are in fake Ireland. You would find whiskey, wouldn't you?
Yep.
So Arodes is going to start drinking some good old-fashioned beer. And-
Simon, is this okay for me to?
Yeah, I think that should be fine.
Okay. It's not Nicky's or anything.
I mean, it is theirs, but they got it with the idea that
Okay, if they're okay with you.
If they're communists, just
Is there a way to turn up the heat?
We could turn the fan back around to face the table.
I did that already. Like, there's like some amount of heat coming from there, but not a lot.
Well, if we're gonna be real rednecks about it, we could turn the oven on and leave the door open.
That sounds like a horrible idea.
Well, you've never done that?
No.
it's a good way to heat your house up, actually. Just
Yeah.
cook something.
Yeah.
Fun fact, another good way of heating your house up is to just leave the fridge open.
Well, why?
The fridge makes so the fridge is just taking heat out of the fridge area and putting it in the air behind the fridge. If you leave the fridge door open, it's just going to keep working, and that
therefore
process is not
produces
very
more and
efficient.
more heat energy. So opening the fridge to cool yourself down only works if you're standing right in front of the fridge.
There was an XKCD comic where he left in the alt text. I opened up the door to my freezer to bask in the coldness. Immediately, tons of my neighbors pour in, telling me that actually you're just making the situation worse. And I use the distraction to sneak into their house and turn the AC on.
I think I may also have one of those.
That's generic brand delicious. Yeah, if Arodes is having beer today, he's in luck. The patrician and the merchants council put up like little temporary beer halls for people to hang out in. So like big casks lined up with like notable marks of the house of the patricians.
I think as long as you guys just don't drink all of that.
Oh, well, John has just cracked the last one.
Oh, okay. Then it's probably not a big deal. I think it's as long as you guys just didn't eat a bunch.
There's a little bit left in there if you want. Okay.
But yeah, so he's gonna get some beer. Is it free beer then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Free beer!
He's going to get a
Elba
lot
isn't exactly a democracy, but we understand how the bread is buttered around here.
Oh, God damn it. The one day there's free beer and I decided to spend money, I decided to be a whiskey person. Bullshit.
You can still save the whiskey for another day or something.
Good point. Spar's probably gonna start day drinking.
And then Arodes is going to tell even more war stories. In particular, his war stories this time are going to be focusing on the build-up to whatever the big battle that Womgrove completely embarrassed himself in. And then conclude
With
a very
story of how-
in-depth account of exactly how stupid he was.
Yeah, fuck you, Stomach Forest.
yeah, a few people are like giving you weird looks as you start. Like most of them are just like sipping on beer and eating smoked sausages.
Should I roll another perform oratory?
Yeah.
14, so 25.
Still pretty good. So people are a little uncomfortable with like an engrossed voice.
I'm wearing my uniform, by the way.
Yeah, so there's a few levels of uncomfortableness when people are there. Like it looks like some guards are keeping an eye on you and like maybe moving closer to like, you know, don't be bringing this shit up on a festival day. No one wants to hear that. But when you make it clear you're making fun of someone, like the tone relaxes noticeably and everyone starts, you know,
Cedric Womgrove, a fool, really.
Yep. And then if I have time, I'm gonna conclude with the story of Leopold also being an idiot.
Oh
And
man,
how
Are
he's
you like spending
frightening-
the whole day as an entertainer?
Yeah.
Izordes' quest now to just embarrass the Wongroves as much as he possibly can.
My
across the
plan
land?
is to make it very clear exactly where I am and the fact that I am embarrassing Leofold to no end, so that he has to keep sending assassins at me
Alright.
that will inevitably fail and will
So
lead
you're
him to
taking
my
a
life.
longer time for this and like playing to a bigger audience in a better situation in the bar. So even with the lower roll, you're gonna make more gold. Arodi spins a lovely tale of ineptitude, crest cowardice, and nobility of some warriors spanning across several generations. People, it's not a story they've heard before. Lots of the traditional market festival stories are sort of like things everyone knows at this point, but eventually they get into it, they're like cheering along for the good guys and, boo at the bad guys. Your little hat gets like 7 gold over the course of the day, depending on how many times you tell the story. And I think more importantly, if I've read your intentions correctly, lots of people know the deal with the Wongroves.
Alright. On this festival day, Spada, who really doesn't necessarily fully... Well, maybe he get... Spada is going to go back to the Church of Palor.
Okay. I do want to point out, if you guys were at like the beer halls in Market Square,
Yes.
someone is setting up a very large tent in the middle of there. And there is a large sign set up saying, "Persons and beasts of lands most exotic and distant."
Ooh, this actually interests Santhus a lot. She's probably going to just.
Market Square is pretty fucking big, so
Is it
like,
Monster Manuel?
I mean, it's persons and beasts, so it's a circus. If you're interested in buying anything you see there, you could maybe talk to
Yeah. Anthus wants to see this at once.
Yeah, alright.
She loves it.
This won't be until later.
Yeah, but she's sticking around and seeing if she can get peeks at anything.
Yeah, there's very large carts and things coming into town, but they're all draped with like big cloaks and capes and things, and like big curtains with lots of stars, and you hear noises going on in there. People seem pretty excited.
All right.
So we'll get to that. Spara, you're going to the Church of Palor.
Yes.
Oh, Spara, do you want me to go with you if you're going there?
I mean, you could if you wanted to.
Are you planning on? Well, what's bringing you over there again?
Well, I think I'm going to buy some necessities, rations and a horse and all that, at a church. If you want to come along, you're welcome to. You'd probably get more out of it than I would.
I suppose.
All right. So every square, every like little crossroads in Alba is kind of a busy place right now. People are coming into the city from all around. It's a big deal. Southern Square isn't as big a deal as Market Square, but it's it's just behind. And the Cathedral of Palor has its doors open. You see the priest there smiling and blessing farm animals and things, and little kids and stuff. There's some people in cloaks distributing, clerical robes distributing alms. You can get little doodads, little toys for the kids that have like sunburst things stamped on them in little places.
Little omemories.
And as he sees you two approach, he's like, "Hi, Anthus," and hi. Mostly we tend towards the young ones on this day of the equinox, but you still are, of course, welcome.
Not to pay our respects, the sun's going to
Yeah.
be showing up a little less frequently
I
lately.
can get you a pinwheel if you want that.
If you're offering.
Oh yes, they're lovely little things. He hands you like it's a little paler face, but like without the facial features.
Oh.
And little like I don't even know what you call them on a pinwheel, or the blades are like little curled like
It's like the sun.
rays of the sun. Yeah.
It's just like his holy symbol.
The fins.
Ugh, that does not sound right. But
No, I believe the children would run through town very fast with all of these.
yeah, and if they fall and skin themselves, their parents come here too, and that's how we get them.
Very smart.
Yes.
Now that's a
and
business
do you
model.
want a pinwheel, Mr. Sparrow?
Yeah, I'll take one.
Sounds like a party.
Cheers. Sparta takes it and sort of whips it through the air so that it spins and then stops. Yeah. He then tucks it into one of the straps of his leather jacket and walks in.
It's like it's like a lapel flap.
Yeah. He hands the basket to like someone he's working with. Do you need anything in like the church proper, Mr.?
Oh yeah, I was gonna. I always forget the word for it.
Perform ablutions?
That's the one.
Okay, are you seeking proper repentance, or he's like sort of following you? I imagine Spar just walking, not really stopping for
Yeah,
something.
Sparta is just walking in an entirely.
So the
in an
prickly
unbroken
discomfort feeling washes over you as you go through the threshold again.
Oh, hey, could you spin the pinwheel for me whenever I'm in here? No, thanks.
If you hold it out, it'll be able to spin better. Let the wind go through it.
Okay, I would probably feel more comfortable if like we had some personal counseling on this front before you went back to the font. And,
What do you mean?
I just want to make sure you understand really like the theological ramifications and I mean if you are determined to go through with this, but I can't guarantee you're going to get any
Sparta at this
different
point, I think, reaches the font, having sort of given him, like, rubbed his hands together.
Spar, maybe you are going
And dunks them
okay.
Okay, so yeah, your hands plunge into water. And
This is why I came with
an
you.
instant rush of pain on your hands. It starts to dim faintly, and then so the face of that merchant you murdered flashes before your eyes once again, bloated and even angrier than last time,
he's back.
more corpse-like. And then the water starts bubbling around your hands, and the burning sensation starts once again. All right, so I'll start counting
Sparta,
the damage.
this time ready for the experience, grits his big sharp teeth together and holds his hand and pushes his hands all the way to the bottom of the bowl.
Yeah, you can't really reach the whole bottom of the font like without fully submerging your head in there, which
So it's like a full like.
it's a full baptismal font kind of thing. I mean, like not just like the little basin where you wash, but like a real deep one.
All right, Sparta's
Like
going
a
to,
cylinder, pretty much.
Sparta's going to momentarily take his hands out, pull up his sleeves, think about it for a moment, throw his shed his jacket.
Oh boy!
Oh dear.
And dunks his arms to about the short sleeve shirt.
He's getting a farmer's.
All right, so, Mr. Spar, I don't know what
What?
you're trying to accomplish here. 2 points of damage.
What do you
Remember,
mean?
I'll be able to heal you after
Yeah,
this.
I know.
Stay
3
strong.
points of damage, and you feel something strange. I don't know if Spara ever was in a situation where he, as a very young man, tugged on his father's pant leg or something like that. There's a sense of something far away, like,
Oh, hey.
and you very dimly feel like the presence around you, the presence you're immersed in, growing stronger.
I think I'm finally getting somewhere.
Your vision
Keep it up,
whites
you're
out.
doing great.
There's a sense of familiarity about this. 4 points of damage. Tell me how much it would take to make Spara black out, by the way.
19.
19.
Okay, we can keep doing this for a while.
Oh yeah, we've got time.
Your vision is sort of fading out, and like you see like sort of whiteness creeping up around everything. You hear the priest words, but they sound sort of muffled, like they're coming from inside a tin can underwater or something. And
He is speaking from
Eventually
behind
they're
a
like-
scarf there, priest.
you have a sense of familiarity wash over you. Not your familiarity, but like you're feeling something someone else's, and a very slow sensation of something turning to look at you, and there's an eye in front of you, perfectly symmetrical, just sort of staring. And the eye can't really tilt itself or crinkle up, but you get a sense of what are you doing from it? And it knows you, and you feel something reaching out towards your mind, and it starts to curl around your little, the spark of your soul.
5 points of damage?
Yes, you're at 6 actually. I'm just gonna go in 2-point increments now. And you get a sense from it. It wants in.
How in?
You really can't get more specific than this at this point.
God damn it! Fine then. Spada dunks his full arms and head into the bath, trying to get a better idea of what the thing actually was.
Oh! So you are in intense, horrible pain, but then the like tendril of something around you snaps into place, and you don't have any physical sensation anymore. And you're in a rush. It's a scattered flash of dreamlike things. You're going through your memories at hypersonic speeds, and there you see the eye there, just sort of watching, not judgmental, just watching.
I'm imagining this all happening like as if he's inside of the sun or something.
Yeah, it's all like a sea of memories in a burning white field of things, and the eye in the background just watching, and you can still sort of dimly feel the pain, but it doesn't even feel like it's happening to you anymore.
Ah, man, they were right. This does get better.
And you hear something like a whisper of a million voices from all around you, from behind you, from in front of you, and inside you. Why did you come here?
What do you mean?
What do you want?
Wow, what does anyone want from God?
You feel the tendrils reach deeper and deeper into you as like the divine light suffuses every part of your being. And Michael, I'm asking you out of character now. To what extent does Spara really want this? And can you describe what Spara...
I don't think Spada really knows.
Spara doesn't know.
What he wants.
Did Spara come here today out of a genuine desire for some sort of reconciliation with...
I think on
like
a very instinctual level, yes.
Yeah.
I think he would never be able to
He's not
tell.
conscious of this, and being conscious of it could actually be a major obstacle for him. Like
Yeah,
if
I think he would never...
His conscious thoughts are justifying it as, fuck this guy maybe, like I need to show that I'm hard enough, but like there's a desire deep down, like, what do you think is so wrong with me? And,
Yeah, that's a good way of describing it.
And the dim echo of pain stops, and Enfys, you and the priest have been around Spara at this point. The priest is like, should I get him, or?
Not yet. I don't know. Would healing him now help at all?
But maybe.
Okay.
And the bubbling just stops in the water after a certain point. Oh, okay.
What?
What?
Is? That's not his breathing stopping, is it?
No. I mean, he wasn't breathing in there at all, but like it was like bubbling like from a boiling pot.
Oh.
Or, like it's not
Okay.
coming out of his
Okay.
mouth. It's like his body was like an antacid or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dropping an Alka-Seltzer in there.
Yeah.
Should we
I think he's okay. I mean, aside from the not breathing, but we could probably give him a few more seconds. And you feel the presence, and it's asking Spara on levels that he isn't conscious of right now. Every level of Spara, what part of his conscious, speaking mind or not, do you want a hug? And that's as clear as I can summarize what the light is offering him at this point. Would Spara want a hug?
Yeah, I guess so.
And the light wraps itself around you a little more fully. And there's a sensation that washes over you of like calm. This would be something comparable, whether Spara remembers it or not, whether he experienced or not, of like the kind of feeling a small child would have in the arms of a parent for a second or two, like, and that washes over him.
That's not really something Spara ever
And
had,
his
did he?
conscious mind, and there's like the sense of like peace and like a sense of affection. Spara can't even really recognize this. Washes over him. His conscious mind becomes aware, not really that the voice was ever talking to him directly, but we can talk more if you want. And suddenly you're awake in the water, and your hands are still like kind of red with like a nasty, irritating, like they look in pain.
It's more like you put your hands in detergent.
Yeah. But the pain isn't there. You do have to breathe though.
Spara?
Sparta reaches one of his hands up and gives the sign for just a moment, and stays there in the under the water for a minute.
Okay. There was sort of a sense maybe that we can talk later, but for now you might want to step back a bit.
Yeah, but for now I think he's easing out.
And after a minute of contemplation, Sparta pulls his head out of the water.
So how much
Oh
damage
my
was that?
God. That was 8 damage.
Sparta takes a moment to sort of
By the bird.
No, the
give
sun.
himself a check.
Good guess though.
That wasn't anywhere near as bad as it was the last time.
It
It wasn't?
stopped partway through.
Yes, it stopped bubbling.
Man,
Here, let me help you.
All things are possible, but I really was not expecting that to just work.
yeah, me
Here,
neither.
I'm going
Good
to
time.
I'm going to channel energy on you.
Okay.
All right, 4 points of damage, and then 4 points of damage. You're fully healed.
I can't believe I believe it, but oh my.
Wait, hold on. Is my face fucked up?
You look
It's
a little red. It's
You
a
look the
little
same
red.
to me, if a bit red.
Yeah, my face feels. Oh, my hands are kind of. Sparta puts a further part of his arm that is less burned than his hands. Yeah, my face feels kind of hot.
Well, your arms eventually got better the first
Yeah.
time, so this is nowhere near.
I
as
mean
bad
the
as it
flush
was.
is going away pretty quickly if you've
Yeah.
dealt with positive energy, so.
Yeah.
That wasn't anywhere near as bad.
How do you feel? Did you see anything?
Yeah.
I believe young man Palor withheld his judgment from you.
Huh.
You've attracted something of his attention. Palor has love for all of us, but his mind cannot be in everywhere at once. But he recognized you.
He can do that?
Yeah.
Guess suppose he probably can. He's a god. Huh.
That's very special, Spara.
Really?
I would be utterly remiss in my duties if I did not offer to you and strongly recommend you come by the church more often. I see Palor is encouraging you down the path to redemption. We could,
Yeah, maybe.
yes, this is profound.
Anthus is grinning ear to ear right now, actually.
Oh, I just bet.
Well, I mean, not really, but on the inside, probably.
Yeah.
But. All right. Are you feeling better now?
Yeah, I mean, I feel fine.
There's still
Honestly,
like a little bit of like the warm, peaceful feeling.
yeah.
It's not as strong there, but you can still kind of like find it deep down in like the pit of your soul if you look for it.
Yeah. Sparta picks up his jacket again and hoists it back onto his shoulders. Yeah, I feel really good, actually.
I can't believe you took that off.
Listen, young man, you are welcome back in this church at any time of the day, at any day of the week that I am here, or if I'm not here, just if you wish to enter meditations and things, I can go over. Wow, yes.
Well, Spara, I think you need a snack.
Yeah, food sounds
Yes, yes, enjoy the festival. This is a glorious day.
Sparta shakes his now very wet hair out and slicks it back over his horns. Yeah.
If you would like, and he goes over to a little stand and like pulls out.
I got communion wafers.
Here's a short. He hands you like a tiny little card. It's not like business card, but like a flat piece of paper with like some common prayers and things and so on. If you desire it, if it bring you solace, you may meditate upon these mantras.
All right.
Do you have any plans of coming back here soon, or?
Well, we'll be around Alba for a while, and this is by far the most interesting thing to do.
Yes. I mean, I can set aside some time to coach you upon the fundamentals of the faith if you wish to discuss that.
Yeah,
or of,
sure.
the life Palor calls us. Right. Do you want to be in on a particular day?
Well, let's see.
The whole services are on Sun's Day, of course. But you can come in any day, and I can set up a meeting with you.
Yeah, I'm gonna be out of town for a little while here in the future.
Of course.
But yeah, well, I don't have a super strict schedule, being a traveling sellsword. and all.
Right.
I think that's
I'll
what-
just try to keep my schedule flexible and open. I may be busy with other things, but I'll try
Yeah,
to keep some space.
Come on, we have to get you something to eat.
yeah, I'll be back soon. And Sparta tucks the parchment of prayers and And exaltation's right next to the contract, right next to the summoning ritual for Riveted.
Man, yeah.
Tucks it in there. All right, let's get going.
Oh yeah, you're blocking the way.
All right.
Demons in my breast pocket? It's
more
more
likely.
likely than you think.
All right. Yeah. So you guys just go out to the fair. You're looking for candied apples.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys both get yourself some candy apples on a stick. Oh man, the caramel and the candy glaze is wow. This is a rare experience for you two. You hear a voice from behind you. Yeah. See, I can't fucking stand that shit. It's
What?
caught in my teeth. You turn around and Talana's there. Her head and shoulders are all kind of soaked, and she has like a big armful of apples with like noticeable bite marks out of them. I just get them the old-fashioned way.
Oh, I thought she was gonna have a bunch of candied apples and just be a hypocrite.
No.
Like, oh yeah, those things suck.
Yeah.
No, I mean
fangs
like
aren't
they
doing me
taste
much.
fine. I get stuck in my teeth.
Oh, do you have fangs still, or?
Jafai is there with her, like sort of. He catches up. Yes, Talan, way to introduce yourself again. Mira shows up. She's got like the equivalent of 2018 party goggles or whatever you wear for those things. Like a big funny like carnival mask thing, and a kazoo in her mouth.
Sparta has now become acutely aware of just how stuck to get, just how mucky his teeth have. His very sharp teeth. He has a bite attack, so his
Yeah.
teeth are crazy sharp. And he's just realized what he's done.
Not really made for fruit, are they?
Oh God! All right, and Sparta
I mean, fruit's just fine. It's the gummy stuff that gets in there. But it's good for bobbing for apples. Talon got kicked out of 3 places for taking too much.
Sparta turns around and cackles at the top of his voice.
Amazing grip.
I gotta try that. That sounds awesome.
No, I don't usually like apples, but I really like them when I want them.
Oh, how do you not like apples?
Oh, you're fine, but they're just a lot better when I win them. But being a win, oh shit. Okay, maybe this is too many. Mira
take some of those off.
Mira gets her clerical robe and just sort of folds it out into a pocket and Talon dumps like half of them in there.
What? No, I'm not giving them to you. I have to keep them for me. Mira, hold these for me. Talon is doing the equivalent of forcing Mira to like carry all her giant stuffed animals that she wanted.
That's sort of the dynamic here.
Oh God! Oh,
Yeah,
this is a nightmare.
If you wanna please me in any sort of way, you just have to give me some kind of fruit. Anything sweet.
Oh, wait, really? God, that just made my life easier. All right. Sparta takes another bite, pauses,
there you go.
and realizes what he's done.
She like bumps an apple onto her elbow and sort of like flips it at you awkwardly. And there's a bit. I always try and stay standing with members of the. Another one. I'm sitting down.
Well, I suppose this makes us friends then.
All
I'm
right.
going to the beer hall. Beer and apples. Good combo.
Sparta's
It's not
going.
really a good. Oh, whatever.
Sparta's
Well, if there's
going to
some
call
cider
Talon.
around.
Miss Sylvester, I'll see you and your company later in the evening then.
I suppose I will.
Yeah, we'll be hanging around Market Square for most of the rest of the day, so. I
Well-
believe one of your company is up there giving speeches about his wardens.
Oh yes. Oh, I'm missing out on a story, aren't I? I've got to get down to the circus once that begins. Are you
Right,
going?
right. Oh yes, I'm looking forward to that. It's always crazy.
Yes, I've actually been seeing if I can train myself to raise animals.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if I can. It's difficult and I haven't been able to get a lot of practice in, but I'm hoping to get good at it.
Well, don't know if you'll learn much about the craft of it, but definitely you'll see something to inspire yourself at the show. These are always
Perhaps.
incredible.
All right, well, see you there, I suppose.
All right. Anything else we want to do with the
Yeah.
festival day, you guys?
Well, Sparta was going to go and eat with Talon at the beer halls.
Yeah.
He still has to get that shit to eat.
Yeah. She's got her pile of ill-gotten gains, and like she's adding some sausages to the mix.
Entirely legitimately gotten. They just
Yes.
didn't like how gotten they were.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at this
I don't
point,
suppose any of you are interested in like the agricultural shows outside of town, pigs, just livestock things. Nothing
yeah, at this probably will. She likes animals.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Spada is not me, so he has no love for the Ag Hort building.
A lovely nostalgic smell of horse shit waves across the river. Ah, that golden.
It's like being back in White Cliff.
Yep. But yeah, all
Yeah.
sorts of. Are there any kinds of fair foods you guys like? Scotch eggs are kind of popular around here. Well, they aren't called Scotch eggs, for lack of a Scotland.
They're called Aldegs.
Yes.
Because Alba was the Irish name for Scotland, if I recall.
Pinto. Yeah, Alban eggs. Get them while they're eggy.
Get them while they're eggy.
Are they gonna stop being eggs later?
They might hatch.
Alright.
Yeah. There's funnel cakes and,
Fuddle.
lots of, giant turkey legs or whatever, except it's not turkey because we don't got turkeys.
Fuck is a turkey?
Fuck is a turkey?
Don't you mean a Greek chicken?
Hmm?
Don't you mean a Greek chicken?
Oh, God. Yeah, there's one thing genuinely cursed. Foreign names for turkeys.
Even our name for turkeys.
Is kind of fucking cursed when you think about it. All
I
right.
think it's only cursed in when you realize all nations seem to have different names for it that are all referencing it coming from different places that are not the place it came from.
Yeah, have you
Like
seen...
any single name is not actually cursed. The whole assortment of them is.
Pretty bad.
All right, yeah. So, if you guys are hanging around in Market Square, the Talon just sort of talks about adventuring and stuff with you, fencing positions. This one time, she's this fucking nest of goblins, and she just, oh man, you just...
You had to be there.
stories like, stories of her exploits and things. She'll talk for a while before, unless you, interrupt her or prompt her. Not that she, doesn't like other people talking, but she's just the kind of person.
She's a
who-
motor mouth.
Yeah.
At some point, Spada would probably mention that that today he went to the Church of Palor.
Oh, you did. That's good. That's good. You a devotee?
Not exactly. I've only been there twice now.
Ah. Well, I guess that's how it starts. We gotta show our blood, and she waves a sausage at you. We gotta show what's in our blood, that we're the boss of us.
Wait, what?
Our blood boss.
Listen, you lost me
I'm
somewhere
drinking
around. You lost me somewhere around showing our blood.
Yeah, you gotta show your blood, Spar. It's not the boss of you. You're the boss of you. Make sense?
Sure.
She means like show your blood as in you are showing your blood who's the boss.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That has not been communicated to Spada effectively, but he has gotten the idea that he is the boss of him. The show your blood thing seems to be unrelated in his mind.
What do you want me to? Do you want me to cut myself? Or?
Do you want me to? I mean, I've gotten paid for this before, so
Yeah.
Show your blood.
All right, yeah. So, actually, sort of like later in the evening, a group of people enter the market square, and people start woo!
What the
And
hell?
they're all like you recognize the sort of dark blue and green robes. They're members of the Tower of the Arts, and they come in with their robes and things. And
Are we gonna skip to see some spell casting?
Yeah, and they start putting on a show right there. So
Okay.
Prompt you with things.
Yeah, as
Just
soon
a
as
laser
Entis
light
hears
show.
about this, she's gonna try to go to it.
What?
As soon as Entis hears that this is happening, she's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
try and find it.
No. So they sort of make their way. They're not putting on an official thing or everything, but the kids are showing up. Gandalf.
Everybody knows prestidigitation.
Yeah. One of them walks up and clears a little space around him and does a little complicated series of hand motions and things, and a towering pillar of fire springs up the ground at his feet, and everyone steps back into whoa, and it eventually coalesces into a fully humanoid form and starts bowing and dancing.
John,
in the
I
air.
just realized. Do you want the GM screen, or are you good for
No, I'm good.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure because I realized we forgot about that. Anyway, keep going.
So a fire elemental is dancing in the sky. Others, are putting on like crazy shows and things and everything like that. After about 15 minutes of entertaining the crowd, the wizards sort of disperse and like break up into small clumps and go around getting their share of food for the day.
One of the wizards is like, "Hey, what kind of beer are you drinking?" It's oatmeal stout. It's my favorite. Hey, what else is stout? I don't know. A dwarf. Cool.
Dwarf! You filled my mouth with orange soda. Yeah, the wizards are putting on street magic. And then you see.
What you did?
So one clump of wizards is walking through, ignoring people and talking to each other in kind of an overly exaggerated manner. And the parents are sort of like, yep, and the kids are like, hey, look at me. And then one of the wizards is like, stop. And like approaching them on the other side is a bunch of like people with like jester clothes and things and stuff and like street magicians. And they start circling each other.
Oh man, are the wizards and magicians fighting?
Yeah, the wizards and street magicians have a magic off there, and like they're all pulling things out of nowhere and shit like that.
I like that take. I like because we always talk about magicians and wizards being enemies. But what if they were just friends?
Yeah.
What if they were just
buddies.
What if they were just both pulling out rabbits from places? And showing who could do a better job of pulling rabbits from places. Which way of pulling rabbits from places is better and more skillful?
My way of pulling rabbits requires way more mechanical skill.
Yeah, Var summons a deer for like you recognize Var there. He's in that little group and he calls up like a swirl of dust and leaves on the ground swirls up around itself and coalesces into the shape of a deer, which is just
Where am I? What?
blindfolds it.
What have you done?
And
Where
pulls
am
out
I?
cards, and the deer like bites a card. And
Oh my god.
yeah, he does with this two card routine with the deer, and the deer just sort of like looks at the audience blankly, but everyone can see because it's got the card facing out of its mouth that yes, he indeed did have the deer's card.
My god. Reminds me of that fucking post I saw that was like, any picture of an animal in a strange place, people on Tumblr, an old god, an elder god, an ancient being, that animal. What the fuck am I doing here?
Yep. All right. So yeah, the wizards eventually just go around to having their own day at the fair.
Okay.
Seeing their things. Yeah, but it gets later. Yeah, some other things are happening. People come through with like one of those big Chinese dragon processions, where they're all holding up different parts of a big, paper animal. But it's a giant, like, sort of velvety blue spider that's like people are going whoop 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 whoop, whoop crawling around with its legs and things. And everyone's like, yeah, and there's just a little bit of in like the cheering there because she's on your side more often than she's trying to kill you, but she's not exactly good.
Spiders.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
All right. Yeah, and then sort of like as dusk settles, the doors of the tent open and like a group of people are standing out front taking like tickets and things, and like just a few coppers to get in. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, alright.
Alright, here we go.
Spend the 2 copper.
Mhm.
2?
It's 5 copper to see the show.
Oh, alright.
But as you fill into the place, like the tent was pretty big to begin with, but like you're pretty sure this is bigger on the inside. Like there's stands set up and like a big little dirt arena in the middle and lanterns and things. And yeah, you're alright, Grid.
Yeah. My cold just hitting me a bit harder than I expected.
Well, you're cold. I got some Ibuprofen. I got some Sudafedrin from my cold and like.
Whoa!
Oh, I've already
Okay,
been-
baby.
I
You
have
wanna-
some Sudafedrin in my pocket, so I've been taking that at appropriate intervals.
All right.
I didn't know you were sick. Sorry.
We did mention that. No,
Yeah.
I guess I didn't hear it.
What on the
earlier.
Sudafed thing? I'm not cooking meth. I don't know how to do that.
no, right. I just like. I don't know, man. The only times I've ever had pseudoephedrine, it has put me in a very...
Oh, okay.
It has given me some serious fever dreams.
It's a heavy hitter, that's for sure. Yeah. Alright, so people are filling into the stands and things. Yeah, like, all the people that are working for this caravan troop, they all, like, have, lots of them have different, like, colored, skin tones than you're used to seeing around here. Even ones that look like, at a first glance, sort of like Menti or things, like, you get a closer look, it's like, they have shapes of, like, their face, the bone structure is all different. Yeah, so it's kind of weird. Eventually, everyone's filled in, and yeah, you can see the patrician sort of waddling over with so a couple of candy apples on a stick over a spot reserved for him over by the ringside. And the man emerges into the tent. Three people, to put it generously, walk into the tent. One of them looks to be more of the leader. He's sort of a tall but kind of slim, with a little bit of a thin mustache and goatee dealy going on. He walks in. He has darker skin. He looks like he could come from Soleil or like somewhere across the Circle C, and sort of that. And he walks up and bows to everyone. He's accompanied by a young woman with red hair, and she has a blindfold over, like something tied over her eyes, but she's like walking out and bowing to everyone too. And a small, sort of nasty-looking, scuttling spider creature. Like a big hairy spider with like grasping little claws and things, but it's got a little top hat on, it's got a little suit and things and a little cane, and they all come out and they bow together at the audience. And I should wait for Greer on this.
Yeah.
Alright. You alright, Greer?
Yeah, I shaved teeth.
You get enough sleep last night?
Probably. I just yawn a lot.
Alright, so the three sort of reach the center of the ring and sort of wave for everyone to hush. The tall, dark-skinned man, sort of a tannish brown, walks forward and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, I must thank you all for your patronage and your pleasure on this evening." And the woman with red hair and the blindfold steps out as well and says, "We ask that you be amazed, that you be respectful, and that you know to keep a one damn from the audience, that you know to keep a safe distance from our performers, be they of human intelligence or otherwise." And the small, nasty, spidery thing jitters out in like a really silky, smooth newscaster voice, says, "After all, let's remember, somewhere in the Great Wheel, you are an exotic person or beast." And on that note, if any of you wish to apply, you can see us after the show. And a little tittering of laughter goes to the audience. As for that, me and my fellow ringmasters would like you to enjoy an exposition of rare and exotic beasts and persons of the lands those beasts come from. And they all bow again and go to the corners of the ring, and a procession of animals starts to walk through. Yeah. So the first thing they bring out is, and like, it looks like a man, but it's huge and hairy and walks on its knuckles and things. It's being led along by a tall, bald man with pitch black skin and a commanding voice. He says, "This is what is called a gorilla."
Does he have a tie?
No, the gorilla is
Play the
Because that-
saxophone.
Because that'd be a great thing.
This is Batu. He is a good friend of mine. And he will show you he is a strong man. And the gorilla leans back and thumps its chest and bellows for the audience a little bit. And then he starts throwing hoops at Batu, and Batu holds them up, and the man starts throwing like little, not knives exactly, but little darts with colored streamers through, and they start landing on the other side, and Batu shuffles over and picks them up and gives them back to the man, and the man gives him a treat. And they sort of go through that a little bit. Next, they lead out some giant cat. What the fuck? And it's got this big hairy mane on it or something.
It has wings.
Yeah. And they do a little lion show because this thing is called a lion.
Weird. It's like a manticore, but different.
But it doesn't have a tail that tries to bite you. Or wings.
Man, that's really weird.
Next, they lead out a procession of tall horses. What the hell do you even call that? Apparently giraffe. But wow.
Long horse.
This world has magical beasts in it,
Yeah.
but like the things that are weirding us out are things that are real.
And the tall ebony skinned man bows and everyone claps for him as he moves off. And next, a proud, swaggering warrior of the North comes forth. He's dressed in like full Arcandorisk battle regalia. It says, "Tonight, my friends, I will show you a most rare and valued partner in my life. We shall give you a dragon show." And a slight white dragon paces out, looking just like a cat that's 1,000% pleased with itself.
Whoa!
Um,
That's right. There's a lot of white dragons up in Arkandor, isn't there?
and he climbs up on its back, and they do loop-de-loops in the definitely too big for what I walked into, like upper areas of the tent, breathing ice all over, things, and like hitting little targets. Barrels of fruit juice that will be sold cubed after the show if you would like to suck on some fruit ice or something, He slows down. "I would like to thank you all for watching, and I would like to thank our ringmasters for the opportunity. Says the woman with the blindfold on, "we used to have a red dragon for this part. Didn't work so well with the cloth roof and everything." And everyone laughs, including the dark-skinned ringmaster, but the little spider thing pulls its hat off and like bows its little snake head. And, like, yeah. All right. Next, they bring out a string of performers from the far exotic Occident, the lands of the Emperor of Chimol, and they play their strange instruments with their sonorous wailing quality to them. And someone sings a poem in a language that nobody understands, but you still feel like you sort of get it's about soldiers and a prince and God, poetry probably.
What language is it in?
Chimol, like just the language of Chimol is,
Just as a point of interest.
it would sound sort of like Chinese if you want a reference point for that.
Cool.
Next, a group of small, hunched crow-like figures walk in. Yeah, and
Those are Tengus.
yeah, one starts juggling with its hands, and then another Tengu flaps into the air. And it's got like special charms on its body to help it fly more deftly if you pay close attention. And the one juggling on the ground starts throwing the balls up, and the other one starts juggling it with its feet. And others start like flying through the loop, and they just keep adding until there's like a big chain of people passing things back and forth and flying through each other in the air, and it's just a big, nice show.
Neat.
And I'm going to keep this going. Yeah, so they bring forth basically like a huge variety of things. Strange-looking people, strange-looking beasts. Some of them give short soliloquies, poems, or performances in their native languages and things. Gathered from all across the Great Wheel, they say. They even have, in a little cage, they bring out like what looks like an angry feral, like festering mass of things that was brought from the outer planes a lesser protean brought into the mortal realm for your viewing pleasure. They just sort of leave it there, and it just keeps, scabbering for a bit. You don't really get what the point of this is, but then it suddenly changes form, and everyone's like, ooh. And it goes like that for a little bit, and it changes form again. And this time it's just sort of a slug that's relaxing and looking at you. Yeah. And then it turns into something else that's like a really angry monkey that just wants to burst out of there. And then so it just keeps shifting for a while, and eventually they take it off stage. Are there any particular animals you think, asking you as players, you'd like to see tonight?
Well, birds,
That would be
of course.
interested in
It's mostly
Skull swarm.
something that your character might be interested in seeking out later, or could just
Anthus.
be an interesting character.
Well, funny you should mention that. Anthus, since she has the animal domain, will be getting an animal companion at 4th level, and that's going to be a rock. My pet rock.
Yeah.
It's just rock.
It's
But
a
no.
rock.
It's not a boulder, Squidward. It's a rock. All the pioneers used to ride these for miles.
Yeah. So eventually a large, huge, just a big, tough, grizzled-looking bugbear comes in, pulling something on a chain, and everyone's like, whoa, whoa, and he's like, And he pulls, and eventually this giant fucking bird comes in the room, walks over, and the bugbear rolls a log over, and, rolls another log, and, tips the first one over, and, there's, a little protrusion there, so it's like a sort of giant set of Lincoln logs or whatever, and lifts the other log up.
It's
And it
important.
says, pretty bird, and it flaps over and lands on the giant timber perches, and he pulls an entire fish out of his bag, and the rock just.
Yeah. And this is like when you get an animal companion rock, I think they're usually like a hatchling or something.
Yeah. This is a full size.
Yeah, but this is like the actual gargantuan rock.
Honestly, if there's a tiny demon,
Yeah. And this is starstruck by this thing. She's never seen something that big.
Yeah.
there's a tiny demon that would be shown. That would be fucking cool.
There's actually a little troop of imps that look like they've been contracted because they're wearing tiny little bellhop uniforms, and they come out playing little trumpets while a chimera slinks out, and the tall dark-skinned man comes out and comes up to it and says, "Would anyone in the audience like to play a game of riddles with our friend?" And the chimera starts asking what it thinks are immensely clever riddles.
14 in? Yeah, fuck it.
Alright, let's see if I can find... you with the horns, please come down, sir. My, we always love having more exotic things on the show.
Spada gives a sort of to end this as he walks by.
Have fun,
Alright,
sweetie.
At this point, Spada
The
is...
goat head is just sort of gnashing off to the side, and the dragon head is just sort of viewing things quietly, but the lion head is looking very happy with itself.
Spada looks over at the dragon head and gives it a similarly contemplative look.
Mr. Chimera, would you like to ask a riddle? The lion thinks for a second very hard and says, "What has 8 legs?"
Come on now, let's not see the same hands all the time.
4 people tied together.
Oh, I guess it would. I'm thinking spider. I was thinking spider. Can I eat him? No, I'm afraid you can't. Damn it! Okay, I get meats though, right? Yes, you get meats. And the chimera slinks off very proudly before flapping its wings up and doing a few loop-de-loops in the air while the little imps are playing little flutes for it.
Spada's...
Thank you for your participation, sir, a tiny little imp says in a Danny DeVito voice. That's just
Ooh, that's a powerful being.
a giant crab monster comes out.
Am I back up in the stands at this point?
Yeah, you've been
All right.
moved back to your seat. Just a giant crab thing, lots of tentacles drifting all over the place, and this thing is sort of tied up. It looks around resentfully. Ah, yes, this being, a creature most foul, attacked me in a deepest jungle swamp. So, not here entirely of his own accord, but I feel like this is what you deserve for trying to destroy this beautiful face. But there's one thing he likes so much he cannot even help himself. For if I release his claws and he snaps and the links fall away and the creature starts chasing him, see, he tries to kill me. But if I give him this, and he like pulls out of seemingly nowhere a giant like stringed instrument and it stops and it kind of like looks between him and the instrument and eventually it pulls it over and starts and this thing doesn't have a face that you can see, but like its tentacles are twitching kind of happily. So you know, he appreciates the praise, though of course he would try to kill you if you expressed it in person. What do we have next, my dear? And the blind woman says, you know, I was thinking the cockatrice, but I don't think these people want to see that. Or more to the point, you don't want it to see you. What? Alright, so they bring out a giant crocodile that they've taught to beg for treats and things. The show's kind of all over the place with how exotic the animal or person they bring out is, and it just jumps back and forth. A cyclops comes in and sings a song about his lost lover.
Oh, does he like go into a friggin' ballad?
Yeah.
He's just this big old cyclops.
Yeah. He just has sort of his arms folded in front of him.
He said to her, I'd like a cheeseburger. And I mean like a milkshake as well.
Played the lute, played it again.
My Johnny.
Oh, god damn it. Oh, everyone hates Johnny Guitar.
I just
think
don't.
it's a great song.
I just don't like the way it sounds.
They pull out some giant lizard with strange spines, fins upon its back, and it has spikes in its tail. That's creative.
That's pretty fucking metal.
And someone like whistles for it, and its tiny little beaked head chases them around, and the tail starts drawing an intricate pattern in the ground. Which, after a while, you realize is a stylized version of the patrician's crest, and he pulls one of the candy apples out of his mouth and is like, yeah, over there. Yes, this is what we call the spiky tail lizard. I don't know if you have a better name.
That's perhaps Spinosaurus?
What does saurus mean?
It means very big lizard.
Ah, perhaps. A group of wizards come out levitating like a large pool of water to show off some rare aquatic animals, including the dolphin that hates everything.
And now it's time for our next attraction, the dolphin that hates everything.
That's actually really all there is to it. They just show you what looks like a very angry dolphin.
Well, that's all.
Yes. Any animals or roadies would be excited to see tonight?
Can't really think of it.
Yeah. So the night continues in that fashion. They show you a menagerie of things. And then, yeah, they're sort of done. The last thing they wave through is a troop of small spidery creatures, much like one of the ringleaders. And they all come together and sort of dance rhythmically in a circle. And the ringleader, the male human ringleader and the female human ringleader go into the middle of them and have a little dance with each other while a phoenix on a perch caws sweet dirges in the corner. And the last act ends, the phoenix flutters off stage, and they all turn to each other and say, "Ladies and gentlemen, you have been a wonderful audience. We have many gifts, trinkets, and souvenirs, claws of the beasts, trimmed only for their health, of course. And of course, any employment opportunities you would be interested with, you may come and see us after the show. But thank you all kindly." And there's just a big clap and things, and that's the circus fantastique, as the man calls it.
Well, I'm envious, Spara. You got to go up there.
Well, it wasn't terribly
I
exciting.
was drawing so much attention with all my jumping around.
Oh, I know.
And of course, they just call the one right next to me.
I know it hurts. Don't feel too bad about it. It's just because I got horns.
Yeah, you'd probably be able to put on a better show up there. than I could.
Well, I don't know about that. You got a better way with people than I ever will.
Don't say that. You've got all kinds of time.
Well, I suppose I do have that. I was gonna go look around the gift shop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Anthus wants to get, like, maybe a talon from the rock or something. Or maybe, like...
The Rock!
Can you smell what the rock is cooking? We haven't trained it to do that yet, but
there was a phoenix, too, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Is there anything from the phoenix?
they sell ashes from when the phoenix.
I would
rebirths
love some
itself.
phoenix ashes.
Yeah, yeah.
That'd be
Because
great.
we're
just
the
a
Black
tiny-
Phoenix Company.
It's a tiny little pinch of the ash suspended in glass. So not very much there.
Yeah,
the
but
stuff is
still.
pricey. But that's going for 20 gold if you want that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you get the impression that the show really makes its money at this stage because they're selling little things. A bunch of the wizards are over in the corner, like, trying to get extracts and things. You recognize Nida there with like a syringe that she's pointing at, and a little spider thing is like rubbing its long tubey head and just no.
Aranea blood? Is the...
No.
Is okay. I thought it was an Aranea.
I mean, you can roll a knowledge planes check to see if you know what this is.
No, that's 16. I mean, I guess I don't have knowledge planes as a skill. I have
Oh,
knowledge
okay.
religion, but...
No, that's probably not appropriate for this one. You could ask.
Nah. Well, you don't just go up to somebody and ask them if they're black.
Because either you can tell or you don't deserve to know.
Yeah. Batu, the gorilla, is leaving like handprints on things for 1 gold a printing.
Aww.
Batu.
That is just weirdly charming.
Yeah.
Is there like an imp horn
Yeah.
or something?
The imps aren't really part
I want a
of
shaving of
animals.
Danny
You know,
DeVito,
I
goddammit.
heard imp porn.
Amateur
Ah!
pornography.
Ah!
Actually, the imps are running like some of the stands and selling things.
Ah, cool. I don't know, Spider might want to talk to one of them.
Huh? Yeah. What can I get for you, sir?
I don't really know. What's good?
We have masks in the style of several of our performers.
Oh. Wait, like the black guy or the cockatrice?
Wait, are you interested in getting Munk? I can't even say his name. Not the cockatrice. We actually don't keep the cockatrice around anymore.
Ah. Yeah.
His voice is kind of hoarse from talking all night. But I got a mask, 3 masks for the Chimera that you talked with, sir.
Huh. That's weirdly charming.
There's a little edge to his voice, like, you know how service workers aren't really happy to see you?
Yep.
And you know how this is technically a devil of the deepest pits and, like, technically a creature of lawful evil that has been summoned here?
Yeah.
It's really the same kind of thing that you're getting in his voice
Yeah.
as a kind of a frustrated service worker, but, you know, he's being polite.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you. Well, how much is that Chimera mask?
For the set, 15 gold.
There's been worse.
I mean, it's technically 3 masks, so.
Yeah, fair enough. You have any, like, demon masks?
Demon?
Yeah.
He looks kind of vaguely offended by this.
I mean, demon, devil, one of the two.
There's kind of a difference.
Yeah,
I'll
either
check.
one.
Yeah, we got little imp horns for the kitties, but I guess we can.
I'm not sure if those would fit on your head.
Yeah, it looks like you're good.
I'll take a set anyway.
Okay, just 2 gold.
Cheers.
Now you can make somebody else a tiefling.
Spotted buys a tiny a set of little horns.
Now look at me, I'm double tiefling.
I'm extra evil.
The male ringleader.
Taylor hasn't taught me a thing.
I haven't learned a thing.
Now I'm even more evil.
Yeah, the dark skin, the dusky skinned man is over in the corner, speaking at length to what appears to be a crowd of mostly women.
Yeah.
Thinking.
Alright, Spotter's just going to breach the topic feet first. So, how'd they rope you into this? You get summoned here, or?
Oh, Yes.
Is that like a business deal, or did they slap you in metaphysical irons?
Closer to the second.
Yeah, good times.
I mean, I think someone down there is profiting from this, but it's not me.
Oh, brutal.
Despite the Danny DeVito voice is like, or like I'm not doing an excellent Danny DeVito voice, but like the hoarse kind of raspy, and like he has the demeanor of Danny DeVito,
Yeah.
the soul of Danny DeVito.
Whoa.
he is still like rake thin and like how
Yeah.
lips are.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Machiavelli.
I'm pretty sure my true name got sold out by a devil higher up the chain. But that's how it be.
Eh. Brutal. You, is there any way out of that for you, or is this just kinda...
Presumably at some point my boss will dismiss me because it's a bad idea to keep an imp around that long. Yeah. Maybe someone down there takes offense to the idea of binding an imp for that long.
Maybe.
But even if it takes 100 years, he's mortal. He's got to kick it eventually.
Yeah, that's true. You, think there's anyone who could help you out of it?
I don't have anything to give him.
Yeah, that might be a problem.
His voice is getting like slowly more raspy and like deeper too. This isn't just my voice slipping. This is like he's getting a bit more sepulchral and like sounding like the pit. As he doesn't have to affect his customer service voice.
Yeah. You, ever hear of a man named Wivitek?
No, I'm not familiar.
He might have some use for you.
Oh?
Yeah. Yeah. He's a businessman.
Right. But I don't have anything to...
You might have something he wants. You're already here.
I guess.
Wivitek does a lot of business in,
He's a human?
oh no.
What is he?
He conducts himself in a devilish manner.
But what is he?
I think originally he was a demon.
What?
Not anymore, though.
I don't... Look, I don't have anything to pay this guy. I don't think that's how this works.
You've got a service you can offer, trust me.
He sort of looks around. Don't know what you mean.
Well, like I said, Wivitek does a lot of business here on this plane of reality.
I suppose.
And he can't come around all the time.
Okay.
But,
This thing just looks very confused about what you're talking to it about.
but you're already here.
Yes.
Tell you what. You have a parchment and quill?
I can get some.
That'd be good. Yeah. If you'd be so kind.
Alright, he sort of scuttles off for a bit and comes back with them and
The line behind you grumbles even more because it's taking more.
Parchment and quill? Yeah.
Yeah. Spot searches in his breast pocket for a minute, thumbs past the pamphlet of Palorian prayers and exaltations, flips open the summoning ritual for Wivitek, and because he understands Infernal, copies it as best he can onto the sheet of parchment for the imp.
Well, knowledge is power, I suppose.
Yeah. Give him a.
Why are you doing this?
Well, I'm not a big fan of, I suppose I've got my angles. Listen, if you give him a ring, tell him Spara sent you.
Well, I'm walking out of this with one piece of parchment with weird scribbles on it richer, so I can't say I'm upset. But I can't say I'll do what you ask either.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, will that be all, sir?
Yeah, that'll be it for me.
Alright, you have yourself a pleasant day now. Yeah? Yes, what can I get you? And he goes to the next patron.
That was kind of a weird encounter.
Yeah.
Alright.
Spara's sort of seeing what he can actually get out of Withetic without directly selling him his soul.
Yeah, you know, Sparrow's going down to. Sparrow's thinking of trying to go to church every Sunday now, but you know, he's still passing out the Satanism pamphlets.
Yeah. Like, have you heard the 11 Commandments of Satan? You heard the 11 Commandments of Satan? Don't harm children. It's a pretty cool one. We're pretty cool. Yeah, we definitely didn't make these in the 90s when the Catholic pedophilia scare was happening to capitalize on the weakness of the church. Don't harm children. It's very cool.
Well,
Not that I've ever had an opinion on Satanism.
I mean, they're not actually worshiping the devil or anything. Like, modern American Satanism doesn't really believe in the devil unless you're like part of the actual Satanists, which is a whole different bag, and it's all needlessly complicated.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I said, I haven't had an opinion.
Okay. Yeah. Anything anyone else wants to get here? Souvenirs?
Well, don't think I need to get any rock talons, but
And you can get a feather.
yeah, actually, you know what? Getting a feather from it, that would be good.
The feather of a rock, 15 gold.
I'm laying down the big bucks.
This is how they get you.
Yeah, I know.
Plus, a lot of these things count as magical reagents, so.
Like a lion fur
Yes.
or a long horse teeth.
Long horse tooth. Fucking long horses. Well, one of like a famous Reddit in joke is giraffes are heartless creatures. Someone posted somewhere. Like it was a picture of like a giraffe in a zoo, but like in a small cell that had like a painted mural of trees, and the giraffe was like licking at the painted tree. And someone left a comment that giraffes are so stupid. And then started getting downvoted to shit, and like he responded to his own comment like, what's wrong with what I'm saying? It's just a dumb long horse. And he kept making spelling mistakes and never really got why people were downvoting him in the first place, and it was pretty funny. At one point he got angry because he just thought there were a bunch of giraffe lovers in this thread. And that was the problem, so he started like saying giraffes were stupid animals anyways, and you shouldn't like them. They're just dumb long horses, and they're heartless creatures. You know, that guy's kind of crazy. Yeah. Anything else to do with the exposition fantastic?
I think I've spent more than enough money here.
I really wanted a piece of a demon, whatever, or a devil.
I'm sure you'll find one eventually.
Ah well.
You've earned the weird. I'm not going to say respect. I'm going to say awareness of Danny the Devil.
Nice. Devil DeVito.
Devil DeVito. Yeah.
No, it's just Danny DeVildo.
Ooh, that sounds pretty cursed.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, yeah. Well, that's you buying souvenirs or these?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm really glad to have kind of gotten in with another devil. This is a good time.
Sort of. Yeah.
Kind of.
All right. So you guys make your way out of the tent. Eventually, they clear out the last people who just really want to talk to that Marine Master. And they start taking the thing down, moving
He's
stuff
not
out
my
of there.
type.
Moving stuff out of there in the big carts and things.
I like a man with a mind.
Yeah. You actually see the wizards walking by with like, you know, in their dignified wizardly way, pondering the cool night air. Some of them have like things on a stick that they're nibbling on, like in a dignified and wizardly way, of course.
Bar walks by with an ice cream cone 7 scoops high.
He's got a sausage actually. You know, I never get how they make a profit off that. I mean, even with the selling the things, it can't be. Oh, hello.
Quite a show.
Yes, it was.
As you can see, I've been deceived. Made a fool
Well,
of.
you know, it happens to the best of us.
Such glorious birds, though. I couldn't resist.
I mean, if you're only interested in it as a spell reagent, you probably overpaid. But Yeah, it's a nice souvenir, I guess. You can't put a price on memories.
Hey,
Unless
you-
you're a certain kind of devil. I think they actually can do that.
You know, you probably got a better souvenir than me. I bought these little demon horns.
Look at those! Do those even fit on your head?
I don't know. I haven't tried. Let's find out.
Bar finds this very funny. Like, this is
The idea of someone with enormous actual horns buying tiny fake demon horns.
Look, maybe you'll have a kid one day, and it won't be a tiefling, but it'll want to fit in.
Ah, that's a great reason to keep him around. I do wonder if they fit though. And Sporos tries to start getting them onto his head.
I
You
think
are-
because your horns like go up this way, you just can't get them on.
Damn it. Damn it.
Actually, like, it's made for a kid's head, so, like, they slide in sort of between your horns. And just look kind of dumb. Also, the string...
But look
you
at that,
have to-
now your horns have horns.
The little string they're tied on, like, you can't tie it because your head's too big for it, but you could hook it under your, like,
I can tie it around my horns.
you could, yeah.
Oh man, this is ridiculous.
Ooh, do you think I could try them on and we could be matching?
Oh, of course. Sparta takes the horns off of his head and passes them to Enthus.
Apologies, Palachi, but I've fallen to evil. Look at me! I've been corrupted!
Yeah, I got one.
It's a party night. That's what these things are for. Oh, God's the dance. Okay, I'm gonna go find my way to the edge of this.
Not a dancer?
No, God.
Have you tried?
In the
Blue screen.
strictest sense. In the strictest sense, he says.
That doesn't sound like a real try.
Ah, come on, Var.
Come on,
Have a
Var.
sense of party spirit.
What? No, okay, come on. Look.
How does a wizard perfect a spell? By just
Never doing it?
not doing
This
it?
is an opposition school for me. Alright, you gonna try and talk him into a dance?
Yeah.
You're goddamn
Like,
right I will.
One-on-one?
Well, I'm at least trying to get him to just participate. At least. Yeah, come on.
Alright, so...
I'll try to teach you a few steps.
Okay, so... Var looks like a little put off by this. The fat cook wizard from behind is like,
Come on. It doesn't do to have.
Come on, Albani, it's a festival night.
Come on, Var. It doesn't.
Public relations, Var!
It doesn't do to have things like this that you're not confident about. If it's that up front.
I mean, oh...
Come on.
Okay.
Do you need me to? Do you want me to
No,
diplomacy him?
he's been bullied into it.
Okay. Because I do have ranks in diplomacy. I have a 7 in it.
Yeah.
So I can convince somebody of something pretty well.
Alright, so
Hooray!
they're like, there are two rings. Okay, so like, the tent has gone down at this point. Someone set up a podium in the middle and a band is playing there. A ring forms up around that, going one way, another ring around the other. Men and women in there, and like, people can dance on their own outside that. That's where most of the people in the square are.
So I know some Menti steps. I could tell you a few Elvish ones if
Oh,
you're
oh,
interested. You probably wouldn't be able to get those on the first
Yeah.
try, though.
Var is kind of a flush in his face that's part alcohol, part physical contact with a girl. He's still a wizard and they are big dudes. And part I'm dancing. Oh, God.
Probably shouldn't give you the Elvish steps, actually. Those are difficult.
Yeah. I have heard. 1 and 2 and 1 and a 2.
Come on.
And a 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
If you need to count, that's fine. Just keep counting.
Yeah.
All right.
So he stops saying it, but you can feel him like you can see him like rumbling the numbers, and eventually like he's like tapping a finger to like keep on the beat
Okay.
in his offhand.
You see, you always find a way to do it.
All right. Sparta is.
That's how you get there, Var.
Sparta is perhaps to prank Enthus and Var, or one or the other, or both. Is going to. How much would it cost to get the band to play whatever the fantasy equivalent of Stand By Me is?
I mean, in this, they don't really have like.
How's that a prank though?
That's
Just
like a
slow?
classic. It's like a classic slow dance song.
Oh, okay. For the romantic context.
Yeah.
So Spar's just basically trying to get them to do a slow song.
Fuck yeah.
They're gonna do slow songs. They're gonna play later in the evening, regardless. Oh, Bea's looking at me. I can feel it through her mind. She's telling me I look like a dork.
Everybody looks like a dork when they start.
You look like a dork. He thought it was V, but it was me the whole time.
No, I can tell the difference between a psychic connection, Mr. Spara, and whatever it is you're doing.
God damn it.
It's demon magic.
Yeah. But, you know, he eventually hits his rhythm and things a little bit.
Okay.
hmm
You see, you're doing so well,
He
Var.
can do somatic components for spells. He can, like, keep his feet moving in the right order. Yeah. Yeah, so the moon is rising higher. And there's a bit of a slower dance at one point, at which point you can tell the awkwardness turns up perceptibly. This is less skillfully demanding, but he's, like, aware of the context a
Yeah,
little
I
bit.
think Anthus probably gets a little bit like, oh god, am I doing this?
Oh, I oversold this.
Oh dear, this isn't good.
Yeah. So yeah, the night
It would be even
proceeds.
better if he paid them to play Earth Angel.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn this light
Hold
on.
me closer, tiny dancer. Oh, a medieval cover. Nope, yeah, but you're dancing. There's lanterns everywhere. This could, if a person was inclined to say so, though I make no statements one way or another, this could be construed as kind of a romantic moment.
Oh man.
Yes. Persons, it could be said by persons that this is possibly a scene of a affectionate variety. Possibly.
Yeah.
In the cultural context of...
yeah. At this point, Anthus is still kind of getting like, it's kind of her turn to start feeling kind of like she's not in her element. But now they both feel it, so hey, it's kind of like true love.
I have to ask then, how does it feel to cast a divine spell?
It's not something that I was very ready for. The spells always interested me, but I never thought I'd do these kind. You feel sort of, I don't know, like something's passing through you. I mean, what is it like to cast an arcane spell? I wouldn't know the difference.
Oh, I use a lot of... My spoken spells usually feel there's a tension that is built up and released. Like, you know the right words, and as you're saying them, you can feel like the air fighting your tongue a little bit. You have to wrestle with it, make sure it comes out cleanly.
That's very different then.
When you say it, it just snaps in.
It's it's like you push past the rules that the mundane world tries to put on you.
I suppose if you were going to get all poetical on me.
It's different with divine spells though. It's like something natural is starting to move towards you. You're not fighting against nature isn't trying to stop you from doing it. In
Right.
fact, nature is inviting you to
It
do it.
flows through you, it doesn't bottle up
Yes.
and release.
The trouble there is being willing to let that go through you. It's
I suppose
it's sort of like you're.
frightening then? No.
I can imagine it could be frightening for some.
I suppose that's where faith comes in.
Well, gods are
Yes.
scary.
Oh, thank God. Someone dropped a sausage and V isn't thinking at me.
Then you're safe.
I'm alone.
We're alone.
God damn it! Damnation upon you! He narrows his eyes and is like, the perfidy of elves knows no bounds, does it, Miss Vanessa?
of elves.
But the elves with thoughts and care not for the rules of man.
He does go, oh damn it, for a second, and like, he is playing a bit of a funny spell on this. The perfidy of elves knows no bounds, does it, Miss Avessa?
Mankind shall fall to our machinations.
This world was yours once, but you lost it for your hubris. He's still like, this is Bance. He can do Bance. And speaking of the band, eventually at one point in the, Talon has taken a few partners over the course of the evening, and she's just sort of like gonna press Spar into this too at some point, like just, yo, we're going.
Oh God! All right, I can live with this.
Look, any male first name that's in my head, I find that person, I dance with them tonight.
All right.
Yes. Not that you wouldn't for other reasons, I guess, but like just...
What?
No, I mean, it's not just like an obligation dance. I just dance with everyone I know, okay? Shut up.
What?
We're dancing.
What?
We're dancing.
No, right. I got that. What do you? What was any of that? Oh, whatever. Alright.
So you guys are going on your thing.
Hell yeah.
Talon is like a much more energetic, like, Var and Enfys are doing like a slower waltzy kind of thing.
Yeah.
Talon is more inclined to like give you, whoa, okay, we're doing this now.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
A lot more of your mental energy gets caught up in what she is physically doing.
Yeah.
So the conversation maybe doesn't get as deep unless Sparta pushes to like have a talk of some sort.
I mean, what would he? You know?
You don't have to. It can just be an evening like that.
I mean, God damn it. This thing that I totally should have expected has happened, and now I don't know what to do.
If I'm giving you a second to think about it, Greer, Mira comes up to Arodi's at one point, still with like the oversized comical party mask and the kazoo, and just.
Arodies is going to attempt to replicate that sound with his voice.
She like laughs a little bit at the kazoo drop. But she asks you to dance. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of hidden meaning probably behind this, but just people ought to dance tonight.
Yeah. Arodies does his best, but he is not.
She's she's aware of this. She's actually really fucking good at this. Like, she's probably like been to formal balls and things like. Most of these people are just it's a peasant dance and things, lots of circles and don't eat dirt. But she looks like she's done had some practice with courtly manners and things. Jafai is just getting absolutely plastered on the side. He has said no. The line must be drawn here. This far, no further.
You gotta wake up and ask yourself in the morning, what am I willing to put up with today?
Yeah. Jafai just looks like he's in a happy, drunk, full state, but then he gets a little sad at some point and just turns inward. He's thinking about something.
Oh.
Yeah. Eventually, as the night progresses, Michael, do you want to have any line between Sparta and Talon, or do you just let the moment?
Maybe Sparta doesn't really know what to say at this point. He's just like,
Talon really isn't saying anything on her own. It's not like she expects you to do it. You're keeping up with her, and that's good. At one point, she gives a comment like, "Oh yeah, I can handle this."
Yeah, I don't
So
know.
most of the other guys couldn't keep up, so yeah, I'm gonna tell you. Ah!
Yeah, I don't know. Sparta probably just lets the moment be.
Yeah, that's nice. All right, so as the evening sort of winds to a close, a man starts walking across the. You don't notice this until he's almost there, but a oddly dressed man walks out. He's sort of got he's got like a sort of Harlequin thing, checkerboard pattern.
The motley.
Yeah, but like with like a big cloak tied around it, so and he's got a weird mask. One half is a grinning comical smile, and the other half is weeping or furious. You can't really tell. White and black mask he's wearing on his face, and everyone kind of murmurs a little bit in the audience around you. He gets up to the stand, and the band is sort of already winding down a song, and he's like, "Finish it." And when they're done, he sort of gets up and they awkwardly step back, and he turns to the audience and starts just song on a fiddle. Like pulls out of nowhere.
And
Just,
playing it hot.
is that Wivitic?
Wivitic's mortal form that you saw was larger and,
Okay.
you can't see the face, but you hear some whispers around you that this is a traveling priest of Ali Yamara, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he just saws, and most of the people who are dancing just kind of stop. Talon does a very valiant effort to keep up. Can you guys pass a reflex save or something? Bard is not even attempting to dance to this Enfys. So.
Okay, I got a 17.
No, I can't do this.
I got a 19.
Arodies does not attempt.
Yeah. So Bard's like, no, I'm sorry, I can't.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, at least watch.
Yeah. Talon sort of gets up in the rhythm. Spar, you do an excellent job from the sound of it. Yeah. And you two are one of the only the only couples in the crowd that actually managed to keep up. So some people nearby are like, ooh.
Yeah, Anthus is gonna go up and start clapping.
You know, previously we had mentioned that when Sparta gets really physically exerted, his sweat burns.
Or like his sweat can be flammable in large amounts.
Yeah. So like, I'm imagining like Sparta there being like flicks of like momentarily like sort of like
embers are kind
yeah
of
like embers or little bits of
puffs
flaming
of
ash.
like little gouts of things
Yeah.
like a stove almost catching.
Yeah.
She's like, whoa, okay,
Don't worry, they're harmless mostly. It's fine.
to you.
Well, yeah, you're a tiefling too.
Yeah, different kinds of okay, and he's going, oh, you bastard, you bastard.
Oh fuck you, a 6'8" breakdown.
Fungus style. Yeah, and cleric eventually starts singing up there in a language none of you recognize, but he comes to the end and finishes. And praise to the Lady of Lies, praise to the Hunter of Thoughts and of Flies. Long may she trap and long she may spin. If you're for or against her, the lady will win. And everyone claps for it. And there's like sort of a sense of relief you get from some people. Ali Damara and Apesy sort of occupy similar theological spaces, so they kind of take pot shots at each other. But yeah, this guy is at least willing to act for tonight, like
Okay.
respectful. And yeah, that wraps up the second half during Fall Equinox. That's a festival day in Alba. Don't
Okay.
get many of them, but we kind of go all out.
All right.
That's a good